because of this. And he was like, I'm sorry, Ashley, y'all were married at the time of birth. I have to leave, and this is a legal matter. I want to go in there. I know what's going on, but I can't without a warrant. And right now, we don't have grounds for a warrant. You need to go file emergency. So, I took my tax returns, and I went and filed emergency. With the lawyer that I chose was a non-contest. He wanted a non-contested divorce. He wanted it to be easy, no fighting. I didn't know that. I had heard Michael talk about it prior with his ex-wife of 5 times. Should never use that lawyer. Should use a different lawyer. I went and filed for divorce. Okay, emergency custody. I got Natty, Junior, and Andy emergency custody. That was in March of 2016, okay? He was not allowed around the children for a period of time. During that time, his mother hired the best lawyer in town. The best lawyer, Ben Harmon. That sets him with the judge. His daddy was a lawyer too, okay? I hired a little bitty rinky-dink lawyer who didn't want to contest. He wanted to be a non-contested divorce. So, going against the big wig versus a non-contested divorce, you're going to lose when it comes to your children, okay? So, the whole time, he was supervised. He had no visits for a minute. Then he was supervised. And during that supervision, I still got him video recordings of him saying that he shaved his hair to pass the hair follicle. I've had him admitting to not caring for the children, his teenage son caring for the children. All that. We went to court, my birthday, June 26th. He was arrested. He was arrested for theft of property and writing bad checks at Walmart. Okay, my lawyer was resigning because I owed him $400. He came back to me. He said, Miss Ashley, they're fixing to file emergency on Wednesday. You should know. You should try to be prepared. I, thinking that I could represent myself because everybody else does, all the convicts represent themselves. That's our rights. I went in with all of my evidence, the proof he had shaved his head, proof of how his house was, proof they weren't being fed, etc. On their, like while they were there with him visiting, not supervised, and tried to represent myself. Like I was saying yesterday, you never do that because it's pertaining to your children. Do not do that. If you learn one thing from me, do not ever go into a family court system, juvenile system, and do not hire a lawyer. Ask for an extension of 15 days, 30 days, and do what you will with what he gives you or she gives you. Do not go into a courtroom for your children and not protect yourself. You and them, yourself and them. Okay? So I went in, and at that time, Facebook was just either being admissible or not admissible. I think it was admissible. And I had Kevin on my profile. Well, the whole year, they knew Kevin was on my profile. They knew Kevin had stepped in for my children. They knew Kevin had healed their hurt. They knew Kevin had healed not being fed, having bug bites all over them, having scabies, having... I can't even tell you what all they had. Lice at one point from coming back from him. The first 3 weeks of him having Natty, she had a kidney infection every time she returned. What 3-year-old has a kidney infection or a UTI every time she returns and she wasn't sick for a year before his visit started? Okay, let's just continue, okay? He got custody of them that day because the lawyer used Kevin against me and I couldn't contest it. I couldn't say, when he came to me, he said, Miss Castile, Mrs. Krotz, look over these photos. And I'm just like, what's wrong with these? These are my Facebook. No, you're married and living with another man. You should have contested that and said, nope. Those are to be put out of court. Those are not being entered into evidence. You have the right to do that. You just don't know all this. I should have said, nope, those aren't being entered into evidence because they don't have factual dates on them. Okay? I didn't. I let them be entered into court. So, Your Honor, here's our evidence being entered into court that Miss Castile approved. And he solely used me not having a lawyer to be against Michael's word, which he's a liar at that time because he was on drugs. He gave him my children. He said, Mrs. Castile, Mrs. Krotz, I'm sorry. He says his exact words. This is when he said this. I'm sorry, but this is going to light a fire under your ass because I don't have a choice. You didn't come in here with a lawyer and protect yourself or protect what's being said. And I have to take that maybe what he's saying is right into account because you didn't bring anybody or you didn't make those not be entered into court. And he's like, I'm sorry, but he's got emergency starting now. And as I was mad talking to him, he just walks off the thing because he knows it wasn't right. But legally, I didn't protect myself. Okay? I refused to give him over, and I drove. We were living across state line at that point. They were still going to Pickwick because they knew we were across the state line and allowed us to come to Pickwick to school. So they were going to start school that year. So my friend, 24 hours later, I got word from the chief of police that if I didn't turn my children over by 6 p.m., I would be in jail for 10 days for breaking a court order. At that time, I'd never been in jail. So my friend, one of my best friends, came and got my kids and went and dropped them off and recorded the whole incident for me. My unsupervised visit started immediately. I got every weekend unsupervised. Every weekend, every other weekend, unsupervised. By the judge, the same judge that did all this. The same judge. Okay? The same judge that sent my son to Illinois 11 hours away with people he barely knew but 4 weeks. Never went up there and looked at their house. Never looked at their background. Never looked at anything. The same judge that gave my children to their abuser because his family hired the best lawyer in town and I didn't know my rights and to hire a lawyer and ask for an extension. The same judge that took my children because we were in a hotel and I had a warrant across state lines, but yet how many people are in hotels with their children, okay? The same judge. So, Michael got them. And from August until October, I had them every weekend. And every Friday, well, actually every Sunday. Well, at that time, I was getting them on the weekends. Well, somewhere between September and October, he just didn't want them no more. He was like, you can keep them. That's what he said, literally. When I wouldn't come back to him, he said, you can keep them. And I kept them for weeks on end. Well, during about October of having them throughout the week, because he didn't want them, and my lawyer said, I hired a lawyer. And she said, Ashley, right now, during this emergency hearing, during this part, I need you to keep track of everything. Every phone call, every visit, every time you drop them off, every time he texts you, every time anything. Because the only way you're going to modify that parenting plan is about 6 months. You're going to have to show that you've had them more time out of the year than you were supposed to originally. You're supposed to have every other weekend, every weekend. You've had them for 2 weeks straight. Okay? So I started doing that. Well, about November, he asked for him back for Thanksgiving. That was it. He didn't see him the whole month of November. Between October and November, I'm being told by people at school, hey, when they leave from your house and come to school, they're clean, they're pristine, they have new clothes on, their hair is made, they got pretty bows in, they're happy. When they come back from his week, in October, we agreed to joint, and that's why. Because my lawyer said, right now, to get the emergency dropped and your unsupervised visits, I need you to agree to joint. He's going to be the primary decision maker for now, and you're going to be residential, secondary, whatever they word it now. And I did not like, I was mad. Our mediation took 6 hours. I was not giving up. I was not just going to do what they wanted. And it was 6 hours long of the mediator going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And finally she's like, Ashley, they're not going to give. We're fighting Ben Harmon. He's not going to give. So she was new on the case. She hadn't been involved in the case at all. She knew nothing. Besides what I had proved to her, like Kevin's. Okay, y'all say, oh, you really don't know Kevin's background. Yes, I do. Do you know why I know Kevin's background? Because in order for that to be passed, I had to look, and she had to read everything to me. Every charge, every felony, I had to know it all to be prepared for court, because they were going to use him against me. Okay? So I agreed to joint. This is when the week started. I had the kids, how we did it was Sunday to Sunday. On Wednesday night, the kids would go to church at the other person's house, so they would get off the bus at their house, and then they'd go to church, and they'd get back on the bus next morning, and they'd come back to the person. So pretty much, the parent got to see them one day out of the week, and they'd get them a week. That never happened with him. He didn't want them. He wanted me. So, when all that started, I kept getting them, and I kept being told by the school, look, when they come back from him, they're crying, they're begging for food to take home, they're begging not to get on the bus. I've got witnesses to this. They're begging to not get on the bus, and if they read you my actual journals, it's about this part of my life. It's not about my Kevin. If I wrote anything about Kevin, it's just a segment or two during the first little bit. This was the actual journaling I wrote because my kids were gone. From June until October, I saw them weekends. with a person that I knew wasn't taking care of them, was neglecting them. And I still had unsupervised visits with him. Do you see why I'm so hurt? Okay? So, started being told that. Started being told, hey, they're coming with scabies. Hey, they're coming with lice when he has them. Crying, please don't send me on the bus. Please don't send me on the bus. Asking for extra at lunch because they knew if they went home they weren't going to get it. Well, what was happening was, like I said, is he was having his mentally challenged son. He's not really mentally challenged. He's just slow. Not bad. Like, if you look at him, he's normal. I love him. He's a sweet kid. He did the best he could. It's his father who failed him. He would be in the bedroom all night sleeping while his son, who was 14 or 15, was taking care of the children. Okay? Their house had holes in the floor. The windows were busted out. They didn't have any wood for the wood heater. The children told me that they slept around the wood heater with blankets laying on the floor and the couches, that their brother fed them, that he didn't, and that when they went to sleep, he was up. Okay? So, I knew all this, okay? I started getting them more. I got them for, the week, and he got them a week. Well, that stopped very quickly. He didn't want them back. At Thanksgiving, because we went to mediation in October, and Thanksgiving, he asked them for Thanksgiving. Okay? I let him go for Thanksgiving, and he brought them right. I went and picked them up. Christmas come around, and this is what all changed it, okay? Christmas come around, and he was getting the kids for the Christmas. Just, he wanted them the 24th, 25th, or the 25th, the morning 25th, something like that, for his family. And I said, okay. So when I went back to get them, I was by the car, and I said, just so you know, I'm pregnant. Because he always told me, if you get pregnant, I'll never take you back. I don't want you back. Well, we had already had a miscarriage. Me and Kevin had a miscarriage June of that same year, right when the kids were taken. Before the kids left, I had a miscarriage. So I told him. He said, well, I ain't never taking you back. Well, fine, great, thank you. I took the kids, okay? From about December to January, I didn't hear nothing. He didn't respond back. He didn't ask for them. Nothing. Okay? About January, the kids come home and say, Ashley, Mom, somebody came to school today and talked to us. Who? I don't know. It was some woman. Okay? I drove them to school the next morning. I went in and I said, I want to know who talked to my kids yesterday, and I want to talk to her now. They said, oh, it's okay. She's already on the way. Great. I'm sitting right here. Okay? She comes in, DCS lady. She goes in the conference room. She says, I need you to come talk with me. I said, okay, here I come. 2017, remember, I've always had the two same things in my system. Always. What do you have in your system? I have a legal script prescribed to me. He has a legal script prescribed to him. And I smoke at night to sleep. I don't take Prozac. I don't take any of that crap. It messes me up. I can't even function and take care of my children. This is done at night to help me sleep because I do have anxiety and depression. Okay? She says, are you sure you can pass this drug test? Absolutely. Come with me. So she's always going to do it anyways. Okay, can Mr. Kevin pass a drug test of the things you're telling me? Absolutely he can. So, go get Kevin. Say, Kevin, I need you to come up here. I didn't go get him. He came. Okay, 5:36, we're drug testing at the DCS office for him. We've done this multiple times. I also have all of those recorded as well from back then. Okay, she says, okay, y'all have passed, you're approved, the children are now in your care constantly. He has no rights. They stripped him of his rights. He came to court in April. I thought, oh no, he's going to fight me, because he showed up with his mother, he showed up with his ex-wife, he showed up with, the lawyer wasn't around him, so I was like, but his ex-wife had to show up because his older son caused it. His older son ran away from home, told them that he wasn't being fed, he wasn't being clothed, he wasn't being taken care of, and that now that his siblings weren't there, that why was he there? That's why he ran away. He ran away between Christmas and January. So that helped me get my case back into the courts without having to hire a lawyer. We go to court. They're sitting over there. I'm sitting over here. And I'm thinking, oh no, they're going to fight. So we go into court. I'm sitting behind them because I don't want to be in front of them. And his lawyer walks by. And I thought, oh no. He's the best lawyer in town. And he says, Mom, what are you doing here? All over the kids. You need my help? Nah. I was like, okay, we go up there. They talk. Got it recorded. I won't share all this because it's court hearings, but I do have it recorded. And it's in the paperwork. Can't lie. So, and he's got a 100-foot order still in place. So if I was lying, that wouldn't be the case. Okay. So we go out in front of the judge. I'm on this side. He's on this side. And he says, "We're going to have a hearing today, Mr. Krotz. Would you like to have a hearing today?" He says, "Nope." I was like, "What?" He said, "Mr. Krotz, you don't want a hearing today?" "No, Your Honor. I want to sign my rights away. And you can keep a 100-foot order in place." I was just like, so the judge is like, "Okay, we got some more cases here. I'll come back later when we hear your case and we'll just end it." Then I was like, "No, no, 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 no. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Do it now. He's going to change his mind." Nope. And that's how I had my children full custody to the naysayers who say, "Oh, you lost them to DCS. In fact, DCS gave them to me." Okay? I can prove all this. I can prove from that very first divorce I had the same two things in my system that you're saying I'm a rug user on. So, you tell me, would you be pissed if your own family pretended like they were going to take your kids and be family and keep things normal because the parent who was holding the gatherings died? I mean, they took our kids in 3 weeks and just cut us off. Would you be upset too? Would you be upset that you got to see your children unsupervised with a meth user, but you can't see your children and you're doing nothing? Oh, this was back before. Everybody's saying that I lost my children to DCS prior. This was to clear that up. I didn't lose them to DCS prior. DCS gave them to me. I've got all the court. I can go get the court documents right now. I'm still their mother legally and still on all that document. So, I'm really lying. Well, let's go over. Let me find the drug screen right quick since you want to call me a user. Let's find the drug screenings that during the time at the house y'all claimed that I was on drugs. Whatever you want to say. Miss Terry, are you new here? Because I don't think you're new here. Are you new here? You're not new here. Well, maybe you are. Maybe it's because of the page I don't see you. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's the reason I don't see you. If you're blocked on other pages, I'm sorry. It's too hard to do all that. Listen, there was mods back then, and I don't know who they all blocked. They blocked a lot of people that were good, a lot of people that were bad. I don't know, honestly. So if you think that you were wrongfully blocked, I can't find it. Like, I can't find your name unless you tell me, like, on messages, because, like, direct messages. I don't do TikTok messages. I ain't getting off early. Every day. Seems like it. Oh, man. So much. Puppy posted, baby. Have a great day. I still am. I'm still making bows. Not as many as I want to, but I am. Last year, whenever I wasn't legally prescribed. Oh wait, there's my prescription, dummies. 3/27/23. I guess I don't have a legal script. There's a legal script right there for you. Not showing you the whole thing. It's none of your business. leaving. Neighbor never leaves. He comes home, goes in the house, and well, unless he's drinking, then you don't see him. If he's drinking, you see him. Pretty bad. He's actually pretty good right now. Ba-dum-bum-bum. No. Nope. Not at the moment. Okay. Because, let me explain this, okay? I'm an only child who was raised with nothing, okay? I was raised with no going out, no going to anywhere. I didn't go to eat besides Grandma and Grandpa. I didn't go shopping. I didn't go on vacation. I didn't do anything. And if she would be honest with you, she had a great life. She maybe got spanked 4 times her entire life. So her aggressive, vulgar dad that she hates so much doesn't make sense, because he actually protected her from his second wife. He actually didn't realize that he was hurting her by arguing with his second wife while she was there. Like, he sees that now. He was young. He was 30 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old with her. Of course he made mistakes. Of course they fought. She was a royal... I mean... Me and hers talked about this, and we talked about this back in 2016 when I was living at you know whose house. But Christmas, she had come and got me 2016 December. We lived there till March 17. We were living at their house, and she's been in their house and didn't like them or their house or approve of how they were talking to us and treating us. So you can say they're buddies all they want, but they're not. These people are acting like they're connected to them just so that they can get publicity. But in reality, they're not connected to the haters. They are probably listening and seeing, but they're not talking to you know who that's on the app every single day. They don't talk, okay? She doesn't approve of them. She doesn't approve of how they live and treat children, etc. She didn't approve of them making the children sleep on the floor. She didn't approve of them making the children not have a television or a light at nighttime, talking about who we stayed with for 3 months. That talks about like they know us so good every day. Them. They don't talk. They don't get along. These people harass them, okay? So, she's had everything she's ever wanted. She's never had to go out and get a house on her own. She's never had to go out and get a car on her own. She's always lived with her mom, besides once when she lived with her girlfriend for a short period, and that ended very poorly. So, she thinks that she's better than everybody else. She thinks that she can raise kids better than everybody else. She thinks that she knows it all, just like Kevin did. Kevin has to work. They are each other. They are. She is a product of him, but she won't admit it. And she won't see that he has changed because he sees that he was wrong. He was wrong in raising his children that name brands matter. He was wrong in raising his children to be snooty at other people beneath him. He was wrong for thinking that you had to be in a certain class to be popular and respected. He's so wrong about that. Is he wrong about not doing more for us to have a better life? He's wrong on that also. He has come a complete 360 since he lost his mother, his father, his children, his belongings, his oldest children, his oldest child. We don't know why. Just, if you don't agree with what I said or did or he said and did in my home and our home that you're not in, then you're bringing up old trauma. You're bringing up trauma that you had from a child with him that I wasn't even around, and neither were these kids. You are projecting onto these kids more than what they already feel, and you aren't supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be the median ground that says, here's your parents, we still have to see and talk to them because they're your parents and they legally have rights to you. Then, if we fail them, you are supposed to be the one to say, I'm sorry, but they have failed. I'm sorry, I'm here to pick up the pieces. If you didn't want that title, you shouldn't have took them. That's the gamble you play when you have other people involved with children that you have taken on. You don't just cut their family out. No person in in any of the parenting classes that were on heavy rugs did not see their children. Their families still let them be around their children, supervised, which is what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to have immediate spots or areas. The only time that you have a third person entity meeting up with family kinship is when it's like ex-husband. So ex-husband and wife ain't gonna get along. So of course you're not gonna be there together. But you are someone that would come to our house and looked up to and talked to and loved. And it's just mind-blogging. It's just like that. Like, the people you think love you the most and know you the most and have accepted you for your flaws and your imperfections and whatever else it is are the ones who really turn their back on you and hate you for whatever reason they have on their own. Like, bypass all that. Even if you have problems with him that you haven't healed yet, you aren't supposed to cause more problems with our children that need to be healed. And they will. There will be a time, just like Riley, they say, Mom, why weren't you there? Mom, why didn't you call? Oh. Here's your messages we've sent to you. Oh, here's the calls that haven't been answered. Oh, here's the message that responded to when I left and went down there and almost died. Oh, they would talk to me then and would meet up with me then, but I come back and try to... No. And it's just insanity to me. It's just craziness, and it's insanity to me because the actions that Matt did to Riley and his wife has affected him. It's affected mine and his relationship. I have to apologize every time we talk. Riley, I'm sorry that Mom couldn't be there more. And I am genuinely sorry for that. They did keep me away, but my own cognate says I was at fault too for not affording to come see you. I'm your parent. I'm supposed to be able to set money back and afford to come see you in a car and make visits. Now, your dad could have met halfway with me like I did. I brought you to him. But is he going to make it easy on me? No. It was my position and my place to put the effort. But I didn't have the money. And after 4 years of fighting, I had to fight Michael 4 years for my divorce. So y'all say, well, you didn't want Riley. You don't want these kids. Why would... Okay, like I said yesterday, this is completely different than the Riley situation, okay? Riley is 11 hours away. They are 2 hours away. Well, less than that. Okay? Riley went up there with only his stepmother and his dad and a sibling. The sibling was a newborn. When Riley went, he was 3 weeks old. Riley grew up with that newborn, just like he did my younger kids. He established friends. He started basketball, soccer, wrestling, football. Could I give him that with 4 other children at home? And not being able to see him for the first 4 years or really talk to him because they wouldn't let me? It was easier just to be out of sight, out of mind because he cries and acts up when you talk to him. I don't make him call. Y'all listen to the phone calls. So they cut me out because they didn't want to deal with his emotions, which is normal. You're supposed to have these emotions and work through them. You're not supposed to just let your children go in your bedroom and deal with it, go in the closet. No, you don't do that. You work through the emotions so that when they get your age, they don't have all this built up. Okay? So, once she divorced, just listen. Okay? Oh, thank you for saying that. Once she divorced, he come around, he called me and said, talk to your son. I was like, I can't talk to I can't be a parent over the phone. And he just hands it to him. Mom, where you been? Mom, Dad and Jennifer divorced. Mom. And I was just like, here I go. Well, he acts out prior to this. Now you want me to be a parent over the phone? So I went up there and got Riley. Drove all the way there. First visit was his birthday. My sister, my cousin, and I paid for every bit. I paid for our gas. I paid for our pizzas. I paid for our hotels. I paid for it all. We went to Riley's birthday. And that was the first time I'd really seen him since I went with Kevin. Well, see, what y'all don't know is this, and my sister will contest to this, and I've had her tell Riley this because Riley didn't know this. When I went and saw Riley in Champaign with Kevin's truck, Matt had told me, you can come back next weekend and see him on Saturday since you're up here with Kevin. And I said, okay. So I planned for the next Saturday. And I drove all the way home to Tennessee, got Catherine on Friday morning. We left on about noon, midnight. Well, I think we left on Thursday. She left school Thursday night, and we left for Illinois on Thursday night. And we got there about 3 o'clock in the morning. That's the night Kevin proposed to me. He had it all sitting out, roses, candles. He was asleep, but he had it sitting out and had proposed to me in front of my sister. And he got her a conjoined room for herself. She had her own room. Me and Catherine and Kevin were close. She loved Kevin. It's just until her life went to shambles and everybody started getting in her ear and wanting her to turn against me that it all happened. The people who's online every day. Same thing they did to the landlord, same thing they did all of it, okay? So, I went and got Catherine. We came back. The next day I called and I said, it's Saturday. Well, it was actually Friday. I said, it's Friday and I'm back in Illinois. Can I see Riley tomorrow? And she said, no, you're not seeing him. I made plans and I'm not changing them. And my sister had missed school on Friday to see Riley. Okay? Oh, we stayed at that little bitty hotel with I dropped Riley off at that gas station by the hotel. There's a hotel and a gas station. That gas station I dropped Riley off. And then 8 months later I met Kevin and we stayed at that hotel. It's just crazy how it all came full circle. And without Kevin, I would have never seen my child. I would have never been able to afford, I didn't have a car. I couldn't go back to see him. So it would have been years later before he really saw me. He saw me 8 months in. Then he saw me about 3 years later, and then he saw me about 1.5 years later after that because I brought him down here for that 4 weeks. So I have been involved with my son. I just haven't been able to access him because he's so far away and it costs so much money. You know, when you've got 5 children in the home besides him, it takes a lot of money to support them. I don't know how Riley's doing. I haven't got to talk to him since his dad put him under lock and key, put him in the basement. You're not getting anything. You can't write, don't have a radio, don't have a TV, don't have a car, you ain't gonna go to work, etc. I ain't talked to him. And I don't want to get him in trouble by him trying to call me, so. But he's come around and he's like, Mom, why didn't you come more? I'm sorry, son. Mom couldn't afford it, but Mom should have been saving better for you. I am at fault. I'm sorry that I wasn't listen. This person who has my children is a first-time parent. Her child is 6 years old. Do you know how many mistakes that I made with Riley? Do you know how many mistakes as first-time parents we make that we don't make with the second children? She is Kevin's first child. Is she given any grace? No. You got less than 5 spankings your whole life. How bad was it really? You didn't grow up with music playing all night and beer bottles being broken and your mama being sexually assaulted and being beat and couldn't protect herself or you couldn't protect her. You didn't grow up like that. You didn't grow up going to school with the same clothes on because they weren't washed. You didn't grow up having to scavenge for food because your mama didn't go to the grocery store because she was sickly. Like, she grew up with everything she ever wanted. She never did without. So I just don't agree with it. I don't agree with you take children that are well-behaved, respectful, mannered children and act like their parents are just these horrible people who are scums and don't deserve to be around them because they affect them poorly. How would they be respectful, mindful children who are the best? I've had 10 people tell me that they are the best children that they've ever seen. Our church lady was willing to take them all with her because they were such great kids. They took them to church camp one summer. So they were the best children at the whole summer camp. And you're going to take accountability for it? Oh, it was all me. I've had them for a year and I'm the one who shaped them into this. No, you didn't. Junior is 15. Natty is 13. The most development a child does by age 7, your child, you've raised them, okay? Next is their development of their character. So you can't take accountability for the children being wonderful children on how they act and behave. You can't. And you can't just strip them away from their parents. That's not fair. And any psychologist is going to tell you that that's not fair. Especially if they have legal rights to see their said children and have never lost the ability to see their said children no matter where they were. No matter if they were in Illinois, I had rights to see them. No matter if they were with their user donor, I had the right to see them. And then the family that we love so much and go to every family gathering, who we send money to, who we check on, who we message and say, hey, can you do a proof of life text? Like, I've texted her so many times and said, proof of life, because I care. I don't want you to be not feeling it good and in your head and nobody care or check up. I've always apologized. If I did something to Kevin, I apologize to them. I'm sorry that I hurt your dad and it possibly affected you or hurt you. Have I ever got that back? No. Have I ever got, I'm sorry how, my dad hasn't healed. Or I'm sorry that I haven't come around more. Like, this person never come around. They never tried to help. Ever. I begged for a village. I've got all of it proved. All of it. All the books I wrote from the very second Neelan was born and then they had their baby. I texted everybody in the family begging for more gatherings, begging for them to be involved in these children, not just that one. I begged. Kevin has it. Kevin's like, Ashley has been the one that has tried to keep the family together. If it wasn't for me, there would be no family photos. All those family photos you see at Christmas and Thanksgiving, me. Come on, let's get our picture, or we ain't doing this. We ain't walking out the door until we got all us together. Me. All the pictures at Dad's and your grandma's funeral, me. I care about you more than you care about me. And that's just sad. Even if you don't care about Kevin and he did whatever, you should care about me as their mother. We're supposed to have supervised visits with the kinship. So that whenever we get to a point where we can get them back, we go to court and we say, we've been seeing them. This is what we've done. Now can we have them on weekends? Or can we have them for a day on the weekend? And that's how that starts. But when you don't respond to nobody or let them even call them. So, we've kept everything. We call, you don't answer, that's proof. We send messages, you don't respond, that's proof. We've sent money, you don't respond, that's proof. We've sent messages to the kids, you don't respond, that's proof. Court's not free. Court, a lawyer's going to be $5,000 to $15,000, okay? Court's not free. And I'm just tired of sitting back and being like, yeah, I see them. Yeah, I talk to them. Like, sit here and lie while they're really telling the lies that aren't true, and I'm just sitting here lying to try to protect them. It's stupid. It's stupid to care for people who don't care about you and don't care about your kids. Because if you cared about my kids, you would say, they don't want Dad around. But can you come visit? Yeah, I could come visit. Yeah. So, like I said, you are hurting our children and you're hurting your child, whether you believe it or not. When she gets grown, she's going to say, why did you bring 5 kids on top of me and replace my attention with them? Because you gave her 365 days, 24/7 attention. Her grandma gave her attention. Her aunts, her cousins gave her attention. The same cousins that are getting online and acting like they know it all. And just best of the world. People who was never around, who are nothing to my kids really. Never around prior. Oh, those were Kevin's stepchildren. That's exactly how they were. Snooty and didn't talk to them. Hey, maybe. I've got 3 pictures with them around my kids in the last 10 years. So how do you... I done called them. Yes, I do. You know why? You know why? I've told y'all this. I will prove it to you when I show all my evidence. What court case gets closed in 2 weeks? What kinship care? Every kinship worker that I've talked to is like, what? Every kinship family I've talked to is like, what? Yeah. So what's in those papers is what I have. Supervised visits, calls, emails, letters, pictures, etc. Can't post the children online. I can't take pictures of them while I'm there. But they can post pictures of them online, and all the haters run wild with it, put them on Discord and Reddit and TikTok, the same thing the judge said they weren't supposed to be on. So, you know, it comes to a point where it's just enough is enough. I'm tired of sitting back and protecting people who are liars, who are trying to make an agenda fit their narrative, or a narrative to fit their agenda, because they want the narrative to be, you don't deserve your kids. You don't deserve, but the courts say otherwise. The courts have always said otherwise. I've always said, do you realize what you have to do to not be able to see your children? Even murderers see their children in jail, in prison. Even RAP words who do it to adults still see their children. Until it is factually proven in court that psychological-wise, rug-wise, etc. They are on heavy, heavy stuff and will not come off, will not, like their donor. Their donor has a 100-foot order in place. He cannot see the children or be around them. Why would the judge put that in place for him, but not me, but I'm a horrible person? My lawyer last year was horrible. He was horrible. I called him emotional because of the stuff that was going on. He goes, I just want yes or no answers. Okay, click. When you got time for me to come into your office and sit down, I'll come in your office and sit down. But you being like that to me, we ain't doing it. So, and y'all don't realize how deep this goes. I passed 3 DCS cases before they took my children. Nothing changed besides being in a hotel. I had the same thing in my system, all of it. Still I think the homeschooling case, if I was so horrible of a parent, don't you think the kids would have been put in school in August of 23? Don't you think the kids been put in school May of 23? How did the homeschooling court case just disappear? I went in representing myself. You only got my children because they told me to go across state lines and I had a warrant and me and your dad weren't married. Tell the truth. That's the truth. And I have it in recording, the whole DCS recording at the door of why they're taking them. Well, you have a warrant, Ashley. I'm sorry, Mr. Kevin. Her crying, I promised you wouldn't take my kids. Someone higher up is making us do it. And you two aren't married. It wasn't rugs. That was never said when they showed up to the door. So, it's usually about 2 years, between 12 and 24 months. It's average. This case was closed in 2 weeks, not 12 to 18 months, baby. It was done on May 13th. It was closed May 30th. Now, you tell me, have you heard that be done before? It was all a plan to take my children and stop the calls. And if that's not clear to y'all, I don't know what is. Because guess what? The calls have stopped to DCS about me or the children. Now it's just Discord and Reddit and all that posting. They don't care. It's not the kids involved. But they're now involving the kids because they're posted on Facebook and they are seeing it. So, it's just nonsense. It's like, the people that you say are the problem really was always the problem from the very beginning are now the people that you're allowing to see your post. It's just insanity. It's insanity. Crazy insanity. I don't know what any else said. I'm sorry, I didn't say that part. No! It is an emergency kinship hearing. You do not lose your rights. You have rights to see your children when kinship happens and emergency happens. My rights to Riley was to see him when the kinship, his father, let me, and to call him when they let me, and to send letters and pictures and whatever else I wanted. And they were supposed to look over it, because he was a young child then, and then let him have it. Technically, they aren't supposed to look over it. Technically, they aren't supposed to listen to your phone calls. Technically, they aren't supposed to read your letters. Technically, they ain't supposed to do any of that. But I'm okay with that, because they're kids. I have nothing to say. I'm not trying to jeopardize anything. Not trying to make them feel a certain way about her. We call and say, how was school? How are you doing? What have you done this week? What are you having for supper? What do you like that she's made? Stuff like that. So, Riley thought I just abandoned him. Well, you're not answering the phone. Well, was you calling my number? Because Mom wasn't allowed to talk to you because you're stepmom. And now you're telling me that y'all called me, but I never had a missed call? Like, these can be vindictive parents or family that want you to be the bad guy in the kids' eyes. And the kids grow up, and it's like, you were really the bad guy. You were really the person who didn't let me access them. And then they're showing me that they tried to access me, and you didn't let them. But let me just tell you, this is how much I keep evidence. Y'all think that I'm lying, that I keep stuff? I'm just going to read to you what Riley's stepmother put on Facebook the year after she got him and wouldn't let me talk to him, okay? I went to Illinois, visited, went back the next week. She wouldn't let me see him. I sent him letters that summer. A couple months later, I sent him letters and pictures, and she threw them away and burned them, okay? Y'all think that I don't keep stuff? I do. You know why? Because I know my son's going to come back one day and be like, Mom, you did this, 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 and this, and then there'll be no accountability on what they did. There'll be no accountability on, well, we kept you from talking to her. Well, we kept you from seeing her. Well, we didn't really let you because she didn't like her. Okay? Let's just read it. I sent Riley and Jen. Here you go. I sent this to Riley the other day. He's read this. I sent Riley and Jen a letter yesterday in the mail. I really hope they help him read it and she reads hers because I mean every word from the depth of my heart. Here's her response. Just like she's acting. Just like. And she's his daughter. Please just do us all a favor and stay away from our family. It is not enough that your negligence as a mother. Why? Because I worked 3:30 to 3:30 in the morning. I was sleeping when he went to school. I was at work when he was off of school. He was in 1st grade, okay? Here's what she said. I was supporting 4 children and a man, okay? It's the ability to make decisions for said child until their parents get them back, okay? Foster care, same thing, but foster care is people who are strangers, okay? It is not enough that your negligence as a mother put him so far behind. It is not enough that I, being a new mom, spent hours of what should have been a fun summer for Riley last year, and I had to be the one to work with him so he was not placed as a special ed student. That was not true. But she had to work with him while her child was a newborn, and that upset her. This is what this is all about, pretty much. Which, that was her duty. It was her job. And now that Riley's told me how she treated him, what she done to him, this all makes sense as to how he come up there, took Matt's attention, took her baby's attention away, and you just take from it what you will, okay? Her capital letters. Mine aren't in capital letters. Hers are in capital letters, okay? You never call. Yes, I did. I proved that to Riley the other day, okay? You saw him once for 30 minutes. Why didn't I see him second time? Because you wouldn't let me. My sister was there. She witnessed it. So did Kevin. Okay? Then we had a confused Riley all over again and dealt with the entire week of acting out and getting in trouble at school. See how she's lying? Just like they're doing? Lying to fit their agenda and their narrative. You didn't come back. Yes, I did. You didn't show up. Yes, I did. You had a confused Riley because you wanted him to be confused and have hurt feelings and me be the bad guy. Okay? All over again and dealt with an entire week of acting out and getting in trouble at school. That's your job. Your job is to deal with his emotions and help him sift through them. He was straight B's this year. That is why he needs to be able to be successful in life, and all you were doing is holding him back. So please, for God's sake, stay away. So Jennifer, you are mistaken if you think I will stay away from my child. You did not give birth to him, nor will you ever be his biological mother. I did not comment on this post for an attitude from you. I actually sent you a letter thanking you for using your time to help Riley succeed and accomplish his goals. And you obviously don't know me. The only reason you didn't see Riley the weekend after was because you waited till the last damn minute when you had been in the state the entire week prior. What'd I just tell y'all? That I went home and got my little sister so she could see my son. That was the truth. My sister, I'll get her to tell y'all. She was with me. I'm done and owe you zero explanation. I can make plans for my family without your permission. Does that not prove what I just said? I can make plans without your permission. I just said, she said, you're not seeing him because I made plans this weekend. Okay? Matt is at work providing for his family. One text in a year does not make you a mother. Well, when you have me blocked, my texts don't come through because when you got my son, you blocked me. You're talking about stuff you know nothing about. You weren't in McDonald's when we met up. I spent the time I was given with Riley until I had to leave because Matt had to go grocery shopping. I did not spend the week in Illinois. I went home to my children in the same red truck I came and seen Riley in. I have called and texted with no response. I don't have your number, Jennifer, to have direct access to my son. If you think for a second I'm going to give up on him or for a second I'm just going to leave your family alone, you're badly mistaken, because my family is included in that also pertaining to Riley. I honestly thought you and I could co-parent and get along for Riley because he calls you mama and calls me mama. I thought since I couldn't get a hold of Matt, I might could exchange numbers with you. My number is in the letters I sent. Boy, do I feel stupid for acknowledging the efforts you put in with Riley in the letter. I asked Matt to please let me video with Riley regularly. He said the tablet wasn't working. I have multiple numbers for Matt in which none have responded to me. Do you not realize my child has been with me for almost 7 years? I'm confusing him? So much you know. Riley knows who his mama is and his siblings, and that will never change. Of course he's going to be upset when I leave and he can't go with me. His home has been Tennessee and with me for almost 7 years. I thought as a mother you would be a little more understanding. I have an amazing man in our life who provides every day from us from daylight to dark. He allows me to be a stay-at-home mom just so I don't have to work my butt off like I've done for 8 years and miss time with my precious babies. I've already missed enough, and I refuse to miss any more with Riley, Jr., Natalie, and Andy. You don't know the million emotions I go through every day because Riley isn't closer for me to visit and see, and because I don't have a way to contact him. The gallons of tears I've cried and the thoughts that cross my mind about my firstborn son every second of every day. Riley hangs on my living room wall, and I look at him each and every day. Junior and Natty ask daily, Mama, we miss Riley. We miss Riley. Do you? And when can we call? Can we visit Riley? And I say yes every single day, and I pray soon. You don't understand, Jen, that not only is Riley and myself affected, his brothers and sisters and my entire family is affected. You can't erase motherhood, Jennifer. I have full custody of 3 children. Explain why just one I'm supposed to give up on. I am a loving, nurturing, providing mother. A piece of crap mom would leave their children with whoever, sign them over, be out doing God knows what, and not think twice about them. I cry over my babies. I spend every second of every day with my babies, and I do the best I can. I have never been to jail at this point, arrested, failed a drug test, or had DCS involved regularly. In fact, DCSs came twice, once right before our court date, and another when Michael was called on at his apartment. They came to mine, and I passed with flying colors. You claiming I'm a bad mother is wrong. I work to provide for my kids. Is that what's wrong? I work to provide. Is it bad I made a stupid choice in marrying someone who was toxic? I am a caring, loving, friendly mom, a woman who gets along with most everyone. Maybe one day, you and I could put all our problems aside for Riley's sake. I kept that from 2016. 2016, okay? Listen, Crystal, I was in a divorce for 4 years with the person that was the cause he went to Illinois. He went to Illinois because I was married at the time to an abusive person. The judge sent him to Illinois with no proof of who they were, no proof of their home life, no proof of nothing. Because I had allowed him to go up there, no court date, like no court proceedings. There was nothing in place that says he gets summers, no, I let him have him outside of court, okay? I couldn't get him back until that divorce was over. And that took 4 years. Because the then husband's mother fought me. I hadn't been lying to y'all. I keep everything. I kept the water receipts the 3 months we were at their house. They claimed we rented up $100. I got the dates on it. I kept everything. Receipts. I've kept DC. I've got it all. Why would I keep Facebook posts from 11 years ago, 9 years ago, if I don't keep my evidence to prove that I am who I say I am? That I am the legit person you see on this app. Have I made mistakes with showing too much? Absolutely. Have I made mistakes with not trying to do better in life? Absolutely. But do we all make mistakes as parents? We do. So my son, who's 17, now sees that I tried all those years ago, and he was made to believe for 4 years that I just didn't come. You've been in Illinois all a week. She didn't show up. I was there. I called and said, I'm here with Catherine. We want to see Riley. Sorry, Jen's made plans. You aren't seeing him. And if that last statement don't tell you that I'm telling the truth, I don't know what else will. You can't tell me what to plan for my family. Thank you. Now do you see why I told Kevin, what's there to lose? I had saw my kids since the day they left. DCS was like, what? Yep. I'd have chose my church friend and my friend that lives across from their donor's grandma before I would have chose this option if I knew it was going to happen. We chose her so they'd all be together. So we could have family gatherings. We could have birthdays. We could have normalcy. And it's been now you see why me and Kevin's had problems? She literally told Kevin last year, oh, y'all aren't seeing him because Ashley's supposed to contact Nashville and have a meeting spot. I called DCS. She's the meeting spot. I said, I know this. But how do you do it unless you have a lawyer and go to court? How do you fight somebody when you have legal rights unless you have a court to say, hey, you're not following the guidelines, you're not following the papers we made in place? It don't work that way, baby. Receipts don't work. I'm going to post receipts. Trust me, I'm going the next couple of days to get all of my medical history so I can show you all 8 years what I've had in my system every single month at the doctor. But you don't believe that I've been on rugs. Got my own grandma saying, what rugs were you on? Are you for real? You're believing people who want to make me look bad over your own grandchild who tells you the truth about everything? From everything. I tell her everything. It hurt my feelings so bad. I've been trying to be the better person. I've been trying to be the better person. Says, maybe she'll come around. Well, maybe she'll respond. Well, maybe she'll do right. Well, maybe. I've been praying every single day. Wake up every single day. Put a smile on your face. Pretend. Try to make money today. Try to be positive. How can I? How are me and Kevin going to work out when we've lost everything? We've lost our whole family. It's not just affecting us, it's affecting the whole family. The whole family has been cut off because his siblings remind our children of him. If he's that bad, why is our children crying? But if that don't show y'all that I have been the same person always, I've never changed, I've never lied. Like, I may tell y'all lies about the kids because I don't want y'all to know. I didn't want y'all to know about this. I didn't want y'all to know that they've done us wrong. I didn't want y'all to know that a lot of what they're doing is the reason me and Kevin broke up. Me and Kevin broke up because of them lying and him taking it out on me. He didn't really take it out, but like he believed them over me. And then I had to factually prove it to him that I was right. And then he had to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I believed her over you because we went through this before and you know what you're talking about. You've been in court. You know all this. You've been through it. But she had him so bamboozled that Ashley's just being a poor parent. That's not the truth. At all. And now he'll tell you that. I heard the DCS call. I've seen the paperwork. Ashley isn't lying. So, I'll go on my old page where my haters are not on. They'll have to just pop in as nobody, you know. Oh, okay, lovey. You think what you want, baby. Do you ever think that I don't say things sometimes to be smart back? Do you not think that yesterday when I said I would just say F them kids, you don't think they're going to cut that out and be like, oh, she said F them kids? Did you hear what I said before it, though? Did you hear what I said prior to that? No, you're not going to, because they want their narrative to be a certain way. Okay? So, it's like, what? I love her. She's really the reason that, she's the reason I stayed home. She's the reason Kevin didn't go back on the road because he wanted to be with me. He didn't want me to be home by myself. He wanted to be a dad to the kids. But if my grandma would have been deceased, I'd have said, let's go. Where's the next state you're going to? I'd have filed for divorce. I'd have got emergency custody and I would have left. But because my grandmother's here, I have stayed. Kevin has known from the moment we met, when I get the chance to live beside my grandma, that's where I'm going to be forever. If you don't like that, you shouldn't be with me. And that's all just been blown out of the water. Like last year, they ran us off. In the court documents, it says, I'm not lying. It includes, these will be posted soon, because if you can't see that they were grasping for straws to take my children, including things from 3 months before that had been dropped, that's what's in this paperwork. Stuff from months before that was proven. Natty's molar tooth, I went to the doctor, got a video on here posted of her going to the dentist in here. Even though the dentist told them it's a molar tooth, take Tylenol. It's still in here. Needling getting on the glass. I said they broke a candle and Nealon had stepped on it. I got the screenshot of my message to DCS before they ever got a phone call about it. I said, you're fixing to get a phone call because I was live. Candle was broke. Here's Nealon's foot. Picture of Nealon's foot. No hole, no blood. It's in here. Being made to leave from grandma's because they were harassing her and telling her lies that she was going to lose her insurance because they were going to count Kevin's income and we were visiting. We weren't living there. We were visiting. That's what made us leave. It's in here. Here you go. Let's just read it right here. The family was temporarily living. That right there shows that they couldn't count grandma's income, Kevin's income as grandma's. She has no access to it. But they made her think that and got her so upset that this is what's in the paperwork. The family was temporarily living with the grandmother before the grandmother kicked the family out of her home, citing an inability to live with the mother. That's not the truth. So, you know, listen, baby. No, I don't regret going on the internet. I wish I would have held it like Gabby. I see much so, it's so, like Gabby and Stephanie, I see so much in them that was in me a couple of years ago. You should not put your children online. If you put your children online, you are going to be dragged through the mud. Every single person who's put their children, even the LeBryant family, even the nurse Hannah, you're going to be dragged through the mud. You're going to be crucified. Do not put your relationship online. Put the good of your relationship. It's all a persona. It's all a narrative. 90% of the people who have all them big followers show you what they want you to see. You don't see behind the scenes. You don't see lives on all day long like Gabby. You don't see people arguing in the background. They don't show you that. They show you the narrative they want you to believe, okay? I thought that I could go live and sell my stuff. It did take me nationwide. I don't regret that. I regret not planning it differently. So, coming on in the mornings when the kids were asleep and like prepping and saying, hey, I'll be on to cook. Having the kids go out, you know, go in a different area, not be behind me. They want to be included. I regret not turning the phone off when Kevin got home and talking to him and letting him decompress to what his family was saying. His family would call him as soon as he got off work. And that's why you guys saw that he hated. Because they were feeling his ear full. It was his whole family too. Not liking what I was saying because it makes them get attention. Whether negative or good. If you go online and you post your children, your family is going to get hurt feelings. Because they feel like you're including them without their approval. Okay? The best thing to do is make it only about, where's Kevin? Where's Kevin? Where's Kevin at from 5:30 in the morning till 6 at night, and from 6 a.m. on Saturdays till 4:30 p.m. From 6 a.m. Sunday to 4:30 p.m. He's been working that job since February of 2017. So he's always at work. He's never home. He's never been home. The reason why y'all saw his eyes cut and him act like he hated it was because for 30 minutes on the way home, he had her and his mom and whoever else saying, Ashley's saying this, Ashley's doing this, Ashley's showing too much, Ashley's la 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 la. But they weren't coming by to visit the kids. They weren't coming by and saying, hey, can I have them for their birthday? Hey, can they come visit me and stay the night? No, I begged for my children to stay the night. They didn't stay one night at their grandmother's house. Not one night. Do you know who stayed there? Nealon. Nealon stayed once because she watched him before she had her baby to get used to it. That's the only time he stayed the night with them. Besides birthdays a couple times the last couple years. Natty, she come get him and take, like, she didn't come get him, I met him. I met her. But, like, you don't do anything for 2 years and then you just show up. Like, there's been one birthday, maybe 2 for each kid in the last couple years. And then, like, no just, hey, because let's go to the park. No, hey, because let's get together. None of that, okay? So here's what they put. The family has been residing in the hotel about 1 week. That's a lie. It was 2 weeks. Y'all know that. It is about 1 week. Would be less than 7 days. A lie. It is believed the family is still looking for housing in Hardin County. We were, of course. They knew that. Okay? On 4/8/24, Tishmango Sheriff's Department contacted blank, stating that they have an arrest warrant for Ashley Castile. They contacted them. We know that. The Sheriff's Department had been in Iuka for 2 weeks. The Sheriff's Department is asking for assistance with replacement of the children as the stepfather cannot drive or transport children and works long hours. I booked in and booked out of jail. My kids weren't even in Memphis when I booked out of jail for a insurance ticket from 5 years prior. Okay? So, who's talking? Go on with yourself, hater pages, fake people. We don't listen to you. If you've got less than 1,000 followers, we're not listening to you. If you've got less than 100 followers, we ain't listening to you. So, have fun pretending to be somebody on this app, because we know who you are. Just like that one. We blocked her on every single page. Why do you still come on? Don't make sense. The haters are my #1 fans. That's the truth. They do. They just don't realize it. But yeah. And listen to this. They take my children because we're homeless, supposedly living in a hotel. But listen to this. I go to Jesus Cares. Y'all remember this? I went to Jesus Cares, so excited they were going to help me with a deposit on both, you know. On the rent and on the deposit. They were going to pay the first and last month's rent. So I go home to Grandma. I was living there then before all this happened, where they showed up and the cops were called and she made us leave because they were lying to her, all that. And I went back to Grandma's. Y'all remember this? And I was so excited because I was going to get help for us to not be homeless, okay? She called me back a couple of days. She's like, Ashley, I'm sorry. I was like, what? She said, I'm sorry, but I talked to the board of director, the one that's over this, about your case, and she said, I'm sorry, but the board of directors says that federally we cannot help you because you're not considered homeless. You're either homeless by being on federal ground, or you're homeless by being in your car. And she said, you're not homeless, you're at your grandma's or a hotel. So we can't help you because you're not technically homeless. But in this paperwork, they take my children because we're homeless. How does the government not help you because you're in a hotel or a car, or hotel or a family, but yet DCS turn around 10 days later, a week, 2 weeks, right at 2 weeks later, and take your kids because you're homeless? You're the same government. You're a government entity just like that is. Like that was private, but government doesn't consider you homeless unless you're on federal ground or in your car. All that's proven. I got all the voice messages, I got all the text messages, I got all the landlord's text messages, I got all the her showing up to my door harassing me. I've got it all. I've got it all. I've got how all of it's been swayed to make us look a certain way. Got it all. Okay, let me find the photo of Needland's foot. That way y'all can see. Y'all remember Natty's, let me read this part of it. Y'all remember Natty's visit to the dentist? Who remembers that? Who remembers going to the dentist, me recording it, and the dentist saying, come here, Ashley. It's her molar. Yeah, I said that online. I was wrong, as always. He says, no, you weren't. It's a molar. She's got a molar coming in because that's her age. All right. Right here. Historically, the department filed a petition to adjudicate dependency and neglect for court-ordered services in April 2023. This is all in this, okay? Following allegations of lack of supervision and rug exposure by the mother, Ashley and Kevin Sherrill, father of child Needland and Trustin. The cause was dismissed October of 2023. Now, if I would have had rug dependency, they wouldn't have dismissed this. Okay? Alrighty. Let's go on down. Additionally, the child, Madeline, had reportedly received a burn to her finger. Do y'all remember that? It wasn't even a burn. Okay? Remember, she was cooking eggs. You couldn't even see it on her finger. She walked in and said, "Huh, Mom?" Okay, that, remember? Okay. Another report indicated that one of the children had broken a glass candle while another child had stepped on the glass, cutting their foot. All right, let's show this, because I got it all. Like, don't act like I don't keep evidence of everything to prove myself. I have. And I'm tired of just saying, oh, they're whatever. They're right. They're right. They're right. No, they're not. They're not right. They're liars. They're conceit. It's ridiculous. DCS is not for you. They are for removing children so they get bonuses and they get payment that they normally wouldn't get if their children is not taken or in foster care. And these people who pretended to, the person before this, the person from February to October, wonderful worker. This worker is the one who lied to us, who swore to us, "I'll never remove your children because you're not bad parents," and then shows up crying saying, "I had to remove your children because of someone higher up." So, two different workers, but okay, let's show this. This is right here. It happened at the end of the year. I just forgot about it. It was like right at the beginning of the year. But where is it? Where? Oh, my whole face is on here. What happened? Do you see a cut on a foot? Do you see a cut on a foot? Okay. Ba-da-bum-ba-ba-da. But here you go. Here you go. Wednesday, February 21st. So 2 months before this paperwork was made right here behind me. It says, before you get called, trust and broke a small candle and kids didn't clean up, so I had to. After Nealon said he stepped on glass, there was nothing in it and no blood but what you see. Okay? Okay? Let's go on to the next turn. The family also had to leave the home of the grandmother due to the drama involving TikTok. We're talking about her tooth that I posted on daggone TikTok for y'all to see. Alright, let's see. Right here. Reportedly, during the mother's TikTok live, Natalie came in the room crying, stating her tooth really hurt. Reportedly, Natalie kept coming in the room crying. Reportedly, that didn't happen. She came in and said, Mom, my tooth hurts a little bit. I told her, take some Tylenol, ibuprofen, Natty. I don't have anything else for you to take. That was what was said, but this is what they claimed. Reportedly, the mother laughed, made fun of the child, and kicked the child out of the room. Natalie's face appeared swollen on one side. It was reported... Hold on. The department investigated the allegations and confirmed the mother took the child to the dentist. Right. Here comes the whole trusting cooking with me. Remember the whole he had a spoon, but they said he had a knife? Remember that? That's in this. For months prior. All the stuff they post is just stupid. Like, not setting a certain curriculum for homeschooling. Baby, you don't do set curriculum or homeschool unless you go through a program. That's why you do homeschool, lovely. You do science, social studies, math, and ELA. You're supposed to do so much a day, which does not have to conclude as paper. Therefore, I've got all the codes for all that. All codes, all codes. Oh, I know you can't see me. I had it the other way around. So... I didn't want you to see me. I had it laid down on the bed. So, I need him to answer me. No, here's how Tennessee homeschooling works, okay? And I beat the case. So clearly, that homeschooling stuff has never been in there because I beat that case a year before. They had nothing to take my children. Nothing. When I share all that back there, it's going to prove that it was all a bunch of ruckus to stop the calls to get my children from me. That's the truth. There's no lie. People who really saw all the paperwork, no, I'm not lying. That it was totally a railroad. We all were railroaded because we didn't have, you know, this is what's even more maddening. You guys don't realize that these haters not only caused all this, they caused Kevin to be charged for something he never done. He was innocent of. We had $15,000 that we had to spend to get him out of that trouble, to keep him from going to prison. That was their first option. They tried to put Kevin in prison. I would lose the kids because I'd never worked. I couldn't afford the bills. I'd be evicted. We paid $15,000. We paid over $10,000 to his lawyer and $5,000 in bond. We paid that from April, when they couldn't take my kids, the first worker couldn't take my kids. She couldn't beat me in the homeschooling case. She couldn't beat me on the rug stuff. She couldn't. She dropped out after she got Kevin charged, and then another caseworker came. That caseworker is the one who closed the two cases because we proved everything, even though they're stating it all in that paperwork because they had nothing. The third worker, guess who she brought with her to take my children? The first worker who got Kevin charged. That's how vindictive they are. That worker didn't like me, didn't like TikTok, and she was out to get me. She removed 30 children in like 8 months, 6 months time. That same year, she stopped my case. And then when she showed up to take my kids, she was there with her. Why couldn't you get a 7-seater car? Why couldn't you get a 7-seater car and come get my kids alone? Because you know they don't like her. They don't trust her. She tried to ruin our life. And she just... It was her and the judge. Her and the judge was pushing to take my kids, and the little worker that made her promises and cared about us was the one crying. them coming to my grandma's to get me gone was a reason. She showed up at my grandma and said, your family's not for you. We've talked about it. You should go to across the state line where Kevin works. That way they can't call us no more. They'll have to call Mississippi and they'll have to start something new. So we went across state lines to Mississippi because they told us to. And then they took my children because I was across state lines with a warrant that they knew about. The haters had called everywhere. The haters are the reason I went to jail for a warrant that had been dismissed. I went to jail for a warrant that was $20.32 from Walmart. It had been dismissed for lack of evidence. They called the state troopers. They called the school board. They called the jail commissioner. Called me and said, I need you to come up here. I was like, what? I've never been to jail. I need you to come up here. The chief of the jail. He dragged me back in his office. And he was like, I need to talk with you. And I was like, what? He's like, our phones will not stop ringing off the hook from Canada and California. And people calling us telling us you're doing this and you're doing this and you're doing this and you're doing this. And we can't even answer our phones because it's people that's talking about you. They were calling the jail. The jail, they called everybody. Everybody, mayors. They called everybody. So of course it got a narrative going that wasn't true. Of course they took stuff that they recorded and made segments from it. But I will say this, the one thing I've learned is before I went live all the time at the old house cooking, what problems did I really have? When you go live, you are bringing children and people and families and whoever else, okay? Girl, she showed up to probation before. She showed up at a bondsman, cussed him out in the jail. They've all brought me to their offices and talked to me. I can literally subpoena them to court. I can subpoena the court up here, the hotel. I've got 3 girls. I stood in the camera room recording her, trying to get my room number. I've got her driving around the parking lot. I've got her coming to the courthouse every time we had court and she wasn't part of it. I have them driving by at the old house, taking videos of the kids. I have so much. I haven't had the money for a lawyer. Okay? I haven't had money for a lawyer. So that's been the problem. Girl, who knows? She lies about so much. Who knows? She could have the actual paperwork, but not the ending paperwork. Like when Michael and them filed emergency, then they went and made false affidavit. Oh, look, I got proof. She thinks she's got all the paperwork. I got all the paperwork right here. I took pictures of all of it. I got where she lied. I got it all. All of it. All the messages of DCS, every single one of them is saved. Every one of them from the landlords is saved. I'm telling you, I've learned a lot the last couple of years. And one thing is to document. And for anybody who says that Trustin's not a Cheryl, right there, he's a Cheryl. Yes, he is. I had to correct that because it was spelled wrong. Hey. I need to order those. I've got proof of family that come to me after telling me exactly who was part of it. Hey girl, just wondering, is that family you're referring to calling blank on you, is that that used to live or does live near your grandma? They are the biggest ones reporting the calls. So many people that messaged me after the fact said they've already contacted me. Seems like I remember those two trying to be a problem for you back years ago when you lived with me for a minute. Yes, you're right. Because wasn't they the ones that bought the trailer over on Blank Loop that you were trying to buy yourself? What'd I tell y'all? He showed up and said, you need to buy this place. And I was like, I don't want to buy this place. I'm 17. You need to buy this place. You could buy this easier than a car. I don't want this place. I'm renting it right now. If I want to in the future, I will. He showed up 2 weeks later after contacting the owner that I had knew personally, not him, and bought it under my feet and come back and said, you got 3 days to get out. I own it. This has been going on since I was 17 years old. Well, actually, since I was 11. When I was 11, they stole my trailer practically that they owed me $5,000 for. Only gave me $500 down payment. And then $300 in clothes. And the $300 in clothes was before... They have been doing this since I was 11. Since they moved in my mom's trailer next door, they have been doing this to us. These two same people. The ones that were hating on me when I wasn't going live was them. They were behind the fake pages. They just got their followers up enough, changed their name, and started making content so they could write off my name. Like, if this don't show y'all, I've never lied to y'all. Ever. But basically made you move out of it because they claimed that they were going to remodel it and move it in themselves or something of that nature. It really breaks my heart. People can be so mean and cruel and hateful to others like what people have been to you and Kevin the past 2 years. My heart breaks for all your... This is my ex-family. This is the kids, is the 3 kids is ex-family. My heart breaks for all y'all's babies right now too because they do not deserve to be put through all the stuff that they have had to endure. Yes, I was in court the other day, but the only reason I was there was to try and find out what all has been going on. I know you have posted some stuff about it, but I'm sure you haven't posted everything that has been going on. I really hope that and pray that you and Kevin can get this mess settled, and I really hope you get the chance to show all these people that have been trashing yours and Kevin's name, and I hope you get your day in court with them. And when you do, I hope you get the max amount of punishment. The max amount of punishment put against all those people that have made y'all's lives miserable and living hell. I can't say that I know everything that you're feeling and going through, but I do know what it's like to have to deal with DCS because with DCS all the time over false allegations because I've had to do that a few times as well. I guess I was one of the lucky ones when it came to getting the cases closed with child services fairly quickly, but it still hurts and bothers me that I even had to prove myself fit to raise my babies over false allegations that were made. And in like your case, it was supposed to be my family that was reporting all the false allegations on me. I don't talk or associate with people anymore, and I believe that one person, that was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. I don't know if you have your number, give it out, but if you do, let me know and I'll give it to you. But Ashley, please don't shut me out of those babies' lives like I have been in the past. I don't deserve to be treated like that from you because I have never said anything bad about you or Kevin. So, I don't lie to y'all. I tell the truth. I'm too honest. That's what's got me hated. Did I admit yesterday that the kids should have been in school? Yeah, they probably should have in 2020. Because, 2021, 2022, somewhere in that area. Because when they weren't at home, like when they were at home, just normal, like going to school and come home at nighttime, I had supper done. I had the house immaculate. Neelan was on a schedule. Neelan got up at 7 o'clock, 6:37, went back to bed at 9:30. He got back up at 11:30, saw Kevin. He'd take a daytime short nap about between 1 and 2 till 3. I'd go get the kids and he'd go back to bed at 8:39. My kids had a schedule. My house was clean. It was organized. There was none of this hearsay and all these allegations because I had time to myself. I didn't have 5 children 24/7 with no mental break because we didn't have a car big enough. So yeah, we should have worked towards more. We should have worked on our credit. Kevin said, I wish I would have knew. For some reason, he just become complacent. That's what he said. He said, I had become complacent and I don't know why. I don't know why I become complacent and didn't want more, want better. He said, I guess it's because I had lived life and had more and had better and you didn't care about fancy cars and fancy houses and $200 pants and you didn't care about that. You know, he said, so I just become comfortable that I didn't have to do the facade anymore. I didn't have to be the guy in buckle. I didn't have to have the fanciest car. I didn't have to walk out with all to the nines. I could be my normal self and be comfortable because you're humble like that. You weren't raised to have all those things. But I wanted a medium. I wanted I don't want to be those, I'm better than you, I gotta have the nicest clothes, but I don't want to be dirt poor and have nothing either. I wanted to go on vacations, I wanted to have our own house, I wanted to have multiple vehicles, but it just didn't work that way with the choices that were made from both of us. I made the choice to stay at home, he made the choice for me to stay at home. He was supposed to go back on the road and make good money, he chose to stay home to be a dad. If he'd never been a dad to my kids, they wouldn't have the family they have. I'm happy about that. Like I said, if me and him never work out, I am happy that they got a dad and family. But I don't think the family that I love so much should stab me in the back. Whether me and him work out or not. Whether me and him are good or not. You shouldn't stab me in the back. I didn't hurt you. I wasn't around for your childhood. You know, so that's what's hurtful to me, but guarantee back. It is. I just didn't realize it. I was so dumb. Grandma raised me like this. Grandma raised me that. And it's not how you raise your kids, okay? You don't raise your kids this way. And this is how I was raised. Mom and Grandma, not just Grandma. You be nice to everybody until they're not nice to you. Okay? Okay, I get that. Not everybody is your friend. Do not want everybody to be your friend. You can't be nice to everybody. Okay? You can't be sweet. I just need to win them over. They need to be my friend. No, they don't. You don't be kind and sweet as pie until they're sweet to you. Because you could be as sweet as pie and they could be the devil, and it's just going to hurt you. They taught me to be friends with everybody, be nice to everybody, be accepting of everybody, and that's gotten me hurt. And then it was, stand by your man, don't be married 3 times time you're 25, don't be divorced. And I stood by a man for 8 years because of that reason. Because I was like, I've already been divorced once, now I'm 21, married again, it's going to look bad, and I was miserable. You know, I've just learned that actions are what matters and words mean nothing. Like, I literally have, oh, we come to get the kids because we showed up as your family to be a unit and keep everything as normal as possible, but, oh, we got them now. You can't talk to them. You can't see them. It's just crazy. People are so manipulative. People are narcissists who don't want to agree and admit they're narcissists. Like, I have learned with Riley, I wasn't perfect. Like, I made a lot of, first-time parents make a lot of mistakes they don't make with the last ones. And that's like, well, why did they get that side of you? Well, Sally, I'm 20 years older. You got to better me because I'm 20 years older. I learned a lot of lessons with number 1, 2, and 3. You're number 4. I made a lot of mistakes with number 1, 2, and 3. But when you have one kid and it's 7 years old, you think you know it all. You think you're right. You think that just because you were raised a certain way is how that one should be raised entirety, even though you have problems and faults from that raising that you talk about. And until now, you told me I didn't know what a bad life was. You really did have a bad childhood. You really weren't lucky. You really didn't have a good life. Like, you didn't do nothing. You went to school every day and that's it. If your grandparents took you to Ryan's on Sunday once a week, that's the furthest you went. The furthest I'd been when I met Kevin, besides going on the road and working, was Jackson, Corinth, and Florence. I'd never been to the mall in Nashville. I had never been to Opera Mills. I'd never been to the mountains. I hadn't been to the beach. I haven't, none of that. And right before I met Kevin, he took him to the beach. He bought 3 Xboxes or 2 Xboxes for his son because the first one didn't work. Went back and bought another one. Who has that kind of money? For a full week, and they stayed in the hotel and didn't do nothing. You got that side of your dad. I didn't. Our kids haven't. They got being put in a cave. But now that he's lost them, do you think that he's going to continue that life? No, he's not. He knows now there's somewhere in the medium that we need to be. I mean, I don't know what people expect me to do. Hit him upside the head with a damn frying pan prior to this? I mean, I've said so much. My words have been endless. And finally, it took him losing everything to be like, I'm sorry, you're right. I don't know why I didn't make these changes prior. I don't know why I didn't stop, you know, decompressing before I got home. I don't know why, you know, I don't try to be, you know, vulgar or upset. I mean, it's things that he's done is just normal, like the way people respond and act and feel from day to day. Problem is I was online and he was being seen that he wasn't in a good mood, or he was coming home and didn't know like he liked what I was doing. He wasn't supportive, etc. I'm just looking at this stuff right quick. Dun, 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 dun. What?
TikTok was
Honey. Oh, I guess that's the earphone.
going on.
See, I didn't spend no $19 on TikTok. Thank you. I hope I can continue to get him to do it. I think we should do 2 a week, but I said, can we please just sit down and just do a bunch and I'll just edit them? Like, can you do that for me? Because, well, thank you. Here you go. I'm going to show you one more thing just to prove that I'm not lying to y'all, because I don't really care anymore. This is proof that what I've been telling y'all the whole time is exactly the truth of what it is, okay? I've actually got my hair follicle from 2017. I forgot I had that. But I'm trying to find it. Trying to find multiple, not just this one. There's multiple in here. Alright. We had to do last year when we got that. Oh, it won't be no new one right now. I'll have to do it. That was the end of that one. Right here is our certificates for neonatal assistant. You had to do this for the class last year. So I've done that, done 2 parenting classes. Oh, here we go. Well, okay. Alrighty, here you go, haters. Ready? This is July 10th, 2023. A random urine screen when DCS showed up at the door. I've got the recording. Y'all were on. I just went in the bathroom. Here you go. What's that say? What's that say? Okay. That says Bupe. That's my legal script that I've been telling y'all about. Okay. Oh, let's go over here. What is that? What I said. What date is that? July 10th of 2023. And this case was closed in October. But yet, I'm on different stuff and don't have my teeth for other reasons. There's more than just that one. There's more, way more. But I'm going to go to the doctor. And I'm going to get all 8 years of my background to prove that every single month, it was either my script and that or my script. So, really a liar. Really a liar. I went to his house. Can you count years, dummy? Do you see the people come in here and act like that? Take a recent one. That was at Finks. I was at Finks in 2025. That was 2023. 2024 in July to August, and I was there in May of 2025. This was in 2023. Can you read? I don't think you can. I really don't think you can. I'm not. Look, let's do this again, okay? But let's do the date again since you have no idea. 2023. July 10th, 2023. The case that y'all claimed from February to October that he was abusing my child sexually, we were on METH, all those allegations. Right here's a random urine screen that they were in the room a foot away from me. Okay? I've never lied to y'all. So, stop with the whole allegations and the narrative y'all want to portray because, okay? Who? I don't watch a bunch of other people because it gets me drugged too. So, girl, I took everything. I got all the court proceedings. I got it all. Like, y'all think I'm just stupid? No, I'm fixing to come for lawsuits against multiple of y'all who have abused the system, who have allowed the judge to abuse the system whenever, just because of other people. Which, well, they do that every day, all day. Plenty of innocent people are in prison. Plenty of good children who shouldn't be in care should be with other people until something minor gets fixed is in care. I don't want her putting in.
Because the urine screen, which they know the kind of prescription has the boxes, so we've been doing.
Got all of it. Got all of it. So keep on with your narratives that aren't true, and I'll keep on saving the proof. Because it's stupid.
It's hard for me to get on.
She's 23.
Another court date?
To your understanding and based on your investigation.
Court date? Got Kevin's court dates? Got it all. Same thing, baby. Same thing. We've never had anything different. Because of this. I don't have any top teeth. My top teeth are not in the great shape. That's why they're saying I'm trying to do whatever they can. It's their narrative. I've already said it. I'm not going back over it again. If you weren't here to listen to it, check it out on YouTube. I'll post these videos on YouTube. Quite funny, the numbers drop when I start showing evidence that I ain't lying. We go from 700 people to 444 when I start showing the actual proof. They removed my children because they told me to go across state lines so that the calls would stop to Tennessee. Okay? I went across state lines closer to where Kevin works. We were there for 2 weeks. They approved me 5 times. Okay? These haters found a warrant I had for an insurance ticket. They took my children. They weren't even in foster care in Memphis, split up yet when I got out of jail. It was a $500 insurance ticket. I booked in and I booked out. It was done. It was paid for. They claimed Kevin worked all the time and couldn't keep the kids. But yet he would have took off of work the next couple of days if I was to stay in jail. But 2 hours and my kids weren't even in foster care yet. It was all a setup. The one worker who promised us she'd never take them was crying. The old worker who tried to get Kevin in prison for a charge he didn't do that we had to beat 8 months before. Well, actually, it was 4 months before. His case ended in January. Eviction started in February. We were kicked out in March. Does that not seem pretty set up to you? Does that not show pretty planned to you that the landlords and them tried to do this the whole time? I've got them coming to the house, telling Kevin, you're better without her. Just leave Ashley. I've got all of it. I've got them coming to the house harassing us. I've got them lying. I've got all of it saved. Every bit of it. That was how they did it. They thought they would take Kevin to jail, prison. I'd lose the house then, back in April of 2023, because I wouldn't have an income to support the kids. That didn't work because I got Kevin out of jail and we paid for a lawyer. We paid $15,000 for a lawyer to get him out of trouble, and then 3 months later they took our kids. Does that not seem planned to you? The only way they could take our kids was to evict us, so we'd be homeless. But per federal, you're not homeless unless you're in a car or you're on federal ground. We tried to get help for a house. They were going to help me. They called me back and said, Ashley, I'm sorry. Federally, we can't help you because you're not homeless. You're in a car, you're at families, or you're in a hotel. So, oh yeah, you can't, yeah, really? You can't, but you can. I didn't know that. So this was all to railroad us. It was all to stop the calls that are coming in every day at DCS. It was so this judge could be done with it. The same judge who removed my child from my abusive husband at the time, then gave me the children because of that abuse, gave him the children, and then gave them back to me full time and signed his rights away in a 100-foot order, to now taking my kids because I was across state lines and... They never helped me get a house. They never looked for a house. Never. Never. We were told from October until February that they were wanting us out because whatever reason. It's not because we weren't paying. They just didn't want us there no more. They don't like us. They're part of the haters. They were online the other day talking about us. It's been a year and a half. Baby, what do you still got to say about this situation? You're proving you were part of it. If you weren't part of it, you'd been done with this. You have the house back. You kept all my stuff. My kids aren't here. You would be done talking about me. But it shows that you have been part of it the whole time. I've got all the times you were online talking to everybody while you were still my landlord. That's illegal. I've got you keeping my stuff for my rent. That's illegal. Like, I'm not just done right now because. Like, no. There will be a time that I'm in a better situation and this will come to pass. Right now, I'm focused on my kids in the house. But I ain't forgetting what caused all this. I'm not. At all. Yeah, she was on here the other day. Girl, I spend $30 a month just to have storage. She's been this way since she was part of it. Okay? She was part of it. You don't with Mindy. You do. Okay, I do with lawsuits. You got 5 years. But on this, you don't because it's an emergency case. So at any given time, I can go back and take the children to court and say, hey, we've got better for them. That's what the whole plan was supposed to be. The whole plan was supposed to be visitations with the kinship and, you know, family gatherings, stuff like normal. That way they're still being around their family. Could we go up there every day? I can't go up there every day. I can't go up there, you know, it's going to be like once a weekend, once a month. And she won't even do that. So, that's alienation. That's going contempt against the court documents. You know, so it's just surprising, but yeah, on that, I agree. Oh, you only got so long on that. So it's okay. She's allowed to do it because she has them, and it's supposed to be on her recognition when she wants to. So let's say Andy's birthday just happened. Instead of inviting us, we know nothing about it. Okay, Neelan's birthday was in June. We could have visited June and August. That's a month apart. Wouldn't have been no problems with the kids' emotions and all that. It'd been they're coming to visit. Then when you go to court, you say we've had holidays, we've had birthdays, whatever. We've had family gatherings. We chose her for that reason. Instead, it's we haven't saw our kids. We haven't talked to our kids since October. Does any other kinship care do that you know of, unless it's the ex-family? And that's the reason why they have a mediator to meet in the middle for the kids to have visitation with the other parent? We chose her, so that wouldn't be the case. We could just fluidly see our children whenever it was best for her. Same thing with Riley. When I went to Illinois and visited for 30 minutes, and then I went back the next week, and they wouldn't let me see him because they made plans. Nothing I could do. What? Go to the courthouse? Sorry, courthouse ain't open this weekend. Can't do anything. Your hands are tied. Unless you have a lawyer and a legit reason. Like with Riley, I wouldn't have went back to court and been like, he didn't let me see him this weekend. It'd been stupid. It'd been a waste of money. This isn't a waste of money. I've been alienated from my kids for no reason. When I have rights to see them, rights to talk to them, rights to send them stuff. Worse to me than Riley. Riley was a single child. He was a singleton. You can't erase their parents' memory out of 5 children's mind. And you can't erase it out of the 2 little ones who don't have the emotions of puberty. Those 2 little ones cry for us. They wouldn't go to sleep the first few months without giving trouble when we talk to them. And you just want to cut us out? You're not going to erase us from their memories. And to have someone call you mother when they have a mother who's supposed to be around them is wrong. And you're not their mother, you're their sibling, there's going to be issues later on because of the things that you're doing right now. You are psychologically messing with their brain. So, Riley couldn't be erased from remembering me. They just acted like it. Oh, she's out of sight, out of mind. She don't care about you. She don't call. And I was. Same thing that's happening right now. And you think that Riley didn't come back around? They're going to come back around. They're going to ask questions. They're going to be like, why didn't you? Well, we did. We texted every day. She didn't respond. We sent money. She never answered. We called. No answer. We sent y'all messages on Facebook. She blocked us. Or whatever. Wouldn't answer them. It ain't like we're just sitting here not doing anything and just pretending like they don't exist. We've actively been trying. That's what's been discouraging us. Don't post your kids on TikTok, but yet they can. Don't post your kids on social media, yet they can. The haters don't need to know nothing about these kids, but yet the haters do. So I wouldn't say that they're being protected. Yeah. She won't let us call them. What does that seem like? That seems like what? Alienation. We've sent over $8,500 in a year. $8,500 could have paid for a lawyer. I ain't blocked nobody. I'm looking down. So, you know. So, looking down. No, they don't want to be part of it. I don't have a clue. I ain't blocked anybody, so, you know, think you're wrongfully blocked, say it. Say whoever you are. I don't know. I know the name you're on better than I know the names that they've been blocking. I don't know who it is. I have no clue who you're talking about. So, oh. Listen to me. If Kevin was always what you said, he would not have a job as the golden boy, making all the money on the best machine in the whole plant if he was all the time. If he was high on green all the time, he wouldn't go to work every day. He wouldn't work all day, 13 hours. He wouldn't work Saturdays and Sundays. He is 52 years old, not 32. Okay? So he's not going to look like the spring chicken every day that he comes home or every day he goes to work. He's 52 years old. You don't go to work in 100-degree heat and come home looking like a prince. Sorry, you don't. To whoever that was. You don't. And we choose to take that at night to sleep rather than take medications that F our chemical balance up that we don't have. Told y'all, she put me on Busprin. It made me go to bed at 8 o'clock at night. I don't want to go to bed at 8 o'clock. I want to be awake when the kids go to sleep so I can work. Then she put me on Prozac. I can drink a half a gallon of whiskey, walk a straight line. My kids can tell you this. I ain't never really done it, but I mean, I can walk a straight line and tell you everything I ever did. Everything I said that night. She put me on Prozac. It put me on the damn couch. For 3 days, I couldn't get up. I couldn't drive the car. I couldn't go get the kids from the bus stop. I couldn't do anything. I literally was glued to the couch like a zombie. No, thank you. I'm not taking that. I don't need depression medicines. I need anxiety medicines. That's why I can't go to sleep at night, is anxiety, not depression. So, you know, I think I've already unblocked you, babe. I unblocked you a minute ago. I thought that was your account, but I didn't know. Yeah, you're not on here. No, I unblocked you. I didn't know that was your name. I just kind of correlated it with it, but you've been unblocked. Told you. I unblocked you right when you said it. Because I didn't know it was you, but I just figured it was you. Thank you. Thank you. I've got the foster calls from the kids. At 1 o'clock in the morning they were calling me, but I can't talk to them now. If I could talk to them in foster care, I can talk to them with who they're with, kinship. If you're cut from your children, you don't get to talk to them in foster care because you're a problem for them to run away or act out or be an issue. But you're a positive influence in your children, so you're allowed to talk to them. Natty's foster worker, she didn't let us talk to Natty. She hid my tablet and talked to me. The caseworker called her and said, Madeline is supposed to be talking to her parents. So, they transition from foster care to you, and you get a paper that says you can make decisions, and now suddenly we're just cut out? Over $8,000, right at $9,000 we could have used for a lawyer. Caseworker's done with it. Listen, they fraudulently closed the case 2 weeks after it happened. Have you ever heard that happen? Have you ever heard a kid's foster care case end in 2 weeks? It has start date May 3rd, or start date April 8th, end date May 13th. So sorry that he don't look like a spring chicken. Somebody last night, Kevin's eyes look like he's this or that. Okay, you sat in front of a camera for 2 hours with a blinding light in your face, and you sat there and talked for 2 hours straight, and you don't make mistakes or close your eyes or whatever. People act like they're so perfect. Okay? Yeah, and you know how much normal child support is? It's $264 a month per child. So, that's weekly. Who else do you know that sends $200 a week for 5 children? They're made to pay. The girl I know had 3 kids. She didn't even get $200 a month for the 3 kids. Because people who are in care get checks from the state as well. They also get food stamps and insurance. So, say what you want. Like, $264 a month. You understanding? Some people don't even get that a month. That's the minimum. Some people don't even get that. Horribly. Unfortunately. But, you know, like the donor. The 3 kids. We're paying for the 3 kids' dad. His dad should have been paying also. But he draws an SSI check. They can't garnish it. So therefore, there's 3 children that are got a dad who's not having to pay for them. Kevin is. And they're not even legally belong to him. Here's my point. If y'all's narrative was, she's so much happier without her children, she doesn't want her children back, why are we sending money to help? Okay? No, close means that this is what's in place. You have the right to make guardianship choices. Parents are supervised visits at the guardian, and once the parents have these stipulations done, hire a lawyer. I told Kevin this last year. He told me I was a liar. I had to call DCS again and prove it to him that I was telling the truth. You have to go back to court. Okay? We had to have a parenting class. We've done that. That's been done since July of last year. We done 14 classes instead of 12. 12 was required. We did 2 extras. I had a psych eval. Normal. Like I told y'all, I have slight situational anxiety. Sometimes slight situational depression. Meaning if we're not in a good mood or good place, I might sleep a little longer, or I might not just have the energy to want to do something. But my anxiety is what plays an effect on me. Okay? Last thing, have a house. Okay? Have a house. So, we have looked for houses, and whenever we, you're too handsome to be such an ugly attitude, if that's even you. So, have a great day. Like, how can people be handsome, but yet so ugly? Rachel, no child support was set in place. No support was forced. So, I would say that we've done it on our own cognizance because they've not forced us, because we were doing it before the kids ever got there. We've done it on our own. She said, I don't need y'all to enforce child support because they're sending me money. We're happy with what we're receiving. We don't need y'all to enforce anything. No, we didn't pay a penny when they went in foster care. None. So, oh baby, some parents don't do it. A lot of parents don't do it because the true people that are on the rugs, like they're claiming me to be, they don't care. They're out on the H word and the F word and the M word and the C word, and they're out on the streets stealing and thieving, and they don't care. You got my kids, you're getting the check, you're getting food stamps, you're getting insurance. I'll see them when I want to see them. I'll send money if I have it when I have it. And they're forced to pay child support, but they're not forced to be involved. So you don't pay child support, you don't see your kids. Okay? So they don't care. A lot of parents don't care. It's less on them. We are not that at all. Zip, zada, you know? So, listen. When does children get to choose? My children didn't get to choose who they went with. They had no saying in this at all. None. My oldest son ran away from home a few weeks ago, is facing trouble at court. He was forced to go back home with the person he ran away from. As children, you don't get choices. And you still don't get choices then, baby. It's up to the judge. The judge has to go over everything, not just that child's word. You don't just go into court at 11, 12, 13, 14 years old and say, I want this, and then it happened because you say that. No. You have to prove and have proof from the person you're wanting to go with as to why you should be removed from that person. I didn't get a choice. My mom died when I was 11. I was just dropped off to grandma next door. I didn't get a choice who I wanted to be with. And unless the judge says you have no, like my ex-husband, he has a 100-foot order in place and cannot talk to the children. If I was that, I would have a 100-foot order in place and not be allowed to talk to my children. I would be unsafe. So, baby, this is a fake account. She don't even have a damn fucking TikTok. 0 followers. She don't have a TikTok. So, stop pretending to be her. If she had a TikTok, she sure in the hell wouldn't get on here with 0 followers. She would put 0 user. She got that message a couple years ago, 2023, when all this is happening. Did you block me? I block users. No response, because she was a user. So is his second wife that watches my page a user. So I can't just look her up by her name and delete her. She popped up as friends you may know. So, you know, it's the same people that's spreading all the lies. The ones on live every day talking about me. Same people, pretending to be them. So, same people. Girl, I got them before you did, but it never shows up when I block them. It only shows up when y'all block them. I don't understand that. Do you? My point is this, okay? My point is this. They drained us to where we would have no way to fight back. This was all on purpose. You don't spend $15,000, beat a case the end of January, and then be evicted in February and be made to leave in March. You don't do that, okay? You know what's funny to me is the people you should be calling users, you're not, and their pupils show it. And who's Kanisha fakes pregnancies? I don't know all this crap. Like, I don't know anything about all that. I don't get into, say this is a hater, you can tell, because who even says Kanisha fakes pregnancies? Oh, baby, I'm supposed to let it all out there. Brandy, if you don't have the money for a house and a lawyer, okay, what would you do if you wait 14, 15, 16 months and just let everybody believe what they want and not say a word to prove yourself, and you don't have your kids anyways? You don't have your kids, you can't see your kids, you can't talk to your kids, and y'all expect me to come up with $5,000, $10,000 like, if I wasn't paying child support or the support we were sending, I probably would have had a lawyer sooner. But Kevin kept believing things would change and that this would all turn around and we wouldn't have to get a lawyer right now. We'd get a lawyer later when everything happens, the house, and us being more stable. And that's backfired for us. So, why just sit here and be like, oh, I'm you. Yeah, I'm all you say I am. Oh, I'm this. And I'm not. 90% of cases that y'all say, you just don't care about your kid, it's because they can't afford a lawyer. And when you go and you get a pro bono, they all work together. Do you know what my lawyer said, who was legal aid? When she came into the case against Michael, and Michael's lawyer took me to court and got the kids for emergency, here's what she said. She said, Ashley, I'm coming late to the game. I'm sorry. But she said, when you live in Hardin County, they go to a board, lawyer, commissioner, board, whatever. They have dinner once a month together. They go golfing together. They go hunting together. They are all together. I'm legal aid. I'm appointed by the state. I have to legally go by the law. I can't just meet up at a gathering and talk about everything with everybody and then us work it out behind the chambers. When they go into the chambers, they're working out an agreement against you most of the time, even if you pay them. Kevin's lawyer wanted to drop him because we owed him $1,000 after paying the rest of it very quickly. When you go to court and you get a bond, even if you're innocent, that bond comes to fruition. That's how they get paid. When your bond comes to fruition against your social security number, against your birth certificate, against you as a straw man, they get paid. They get paid when that bond comes back. And the end of it, the lawyer, the DA, and the judge. We're all pawns in their game. And unless you know a good lawyer has a lot of money, you have a lot of money, or you know the legal rights and the way and procedures of the courts, you can very easily get railroaded by the people you think are going to be appointed to you and you can trust. So, no, you didn't offend me, baby. I'm not offended. I'm not mad at you. Not at all. I'm just trying to explain as to why in this little old good old boy town where everybody runs together, it don't work that way. Like y'all hearing about the judge, why the sheriff killed the judge, what was going on, all the women in jail and women on the streets, and then his daughter was one. That goes on everywhere. In all these little bitty towns, it all goes together. Danny Smith was watching me on court. I got it recorded. He looks over to the landlord who shares the same last name. They both have the same last name, which could be kin. And he says, oh, what a great last name. And then she's talking about trying to get a restraining order against me, and they were the ones online talking. And he says, oh, so she can see who's in her lives watching her? Yeah, she can see who's in her lives. Oh, I didn't know that. Then, the Saturday before she took my kids, DCS made a law in Tennessee that DCS workers aren't supposed to use TikTok, social media. I got a screenshot that says, is this your account? Because it matches your phone number. I said that on Saturday. They took my kids on Monday. So, it's like I started figuring all of it out. You know, like, same as mine, girl. Same as mine. It's truly corrupt. And until he gets put off the bench, nothing's going to change in our town for the better. Because he controls it all. He controls the mule trafficking through the county. We got a methadone clinic in our hometown. Why? Listen. They have their mules that run stuff to the county so that if they get caught, it ain't them, the authorities. Yes, girl, yes. I literally got a post right here that says, is this you? Why are you on TikTok? I was shocked. I was just wanting to know if that was her. I wasn't going to block her. I didn't block her. I was okay with it. I ain't got anything to hide from you. I'd rather you watch me. That way, when the people call the allegations, you see me for your own eyes. But that just proved to me that they had been seeing it, but running with the allegations. So, what would you feel? What would you feel that people aren't coming, you know, they're looking at you, but not supposed to be looking at you, you know? No, we're not from Bama. Not from Bama. I ain't been to Bama. Well, I've been down there, but not like DCS and all that stuff. I've never, resided. Went down there for 2 weeks, and then went down there for the 15th day. Oh, I was down there dating somebody. He about killed me. Oh, here we go. Since nobody believes me that I was allowed to talk to my kids in foster care, I was. It's just craziness. Here's Natty every single night in foster care. April the 13th. Right after school. So I can talk to him then, but I can't talk to him now. Doesn't make sense. Never will make sense. And now I start talking, showing proof, and she's finally texting me. You wouldn't text me since June. Well, actually, May. I went down there. She texted me. I come back to Kevin because that's the only place I had to go and felt safe against that person. She stopped texting me. I said, keep mine and Kevin separate. How he feels is separate from me. I don't text you from his phone. I don't read it. And he don't text you from my phone. He don't read it. I'm not going to tell him what we talk about. And then I get online, start showing my truth, and now it's suddenly texting me. It doesn't matter what she wants. It matters what the courts say. The courts state we're both safe to be around. The courts say we could talk to our children in foster care even at midnight. The courts say in kinship you have supervised visits until you get to a point to where you can have them unsupervised, which would be a house. Okay? That's what the courts say. Got it? You don't just take away rights, which is alienation, just because you don't want something. That's not how that works, okay? You're lying. Y'all are lying. You're being misled and you're lying. So, you know what? What do you mean? The courts has to fix it because she's not letting them. You're not understanding what kinship is, do y'all? Do y'all get any of that? Do you get it? People are stupid. You do not end a court thing when it's already ended. What is in that paperwork is what is the end amendment until it comes back and is amended again. Can totally see that y'all have not been in court dealing with juveniles at all. At all. Exactly. My kids never even got a damn whooping from me. I don't whoop my kids. That's a problem she had with Kevin. I don't whoop those kids. My kids, Junior hadn't had a whooping but one time that I can remember. Back in 2018. It was right when they came back from Michael and they had been confused and acting out because of how he was raising them or how they were with it when they were with him. So Junior had come back acting a little lying. Lying is the only reason our children got spankings. If they lied. Continuously lied over and over and over again, and we knew they were lying. Okay? Listen, kinship is family. It's family or close friends that know the children on an interpersonal level, that can keep the children closest. If they didn't want our children to be around us, they would have put them in foster care. They'd have put them in foster care in Memphis where they were to begin with. They wouldn't have been choosing my church friend, my friend from my hometown, and our family. They would have chose people that didn't know us interpersonally to keep them away from us. They chose family, that way it could be normal. Our kids wouldn't be completely traumatized. They could have weekends with them. We could go visit. Like, I've been to their house plenty of times. Her baby reveal, been there. Her baby shower, been there. I've been there in her home. Me and Kevin went on a date. So, I've never not been welcome there. It just doesn't make sense. You take my children, you don't let me see them or talk to them. That is alienation. So what's supposed to happen is when kinship is happening, it's supposed to be on the kinship's watch. So Matt had emergency custody of Riley. It was supposed to be when I could come up there and work it out with him because he's so far away. Same thing. Supposed to be when it's best for them, but also when we're able. So it's supposed to keep it normal, okay? I don't know what that is. What is SW? I don't know what that is. What does that mean? What are we even talking about? What does SW mean? Oh, I was thinking about something completely different. No, I called her. I called her back in June. I got it recorded. And she could not believe that this person who was supposed to let our children see us and be around us and talk to us, etc., the reason why they didn't enforce child support, she was shocked. You mean to tell me you haven't saw your children? No. Well, that ain't what's supposed to have been happening. I recommend you get a lawyer and bring it back to court because you're supposed to be seeing them. Yeah, but no, I'm just a liar. I'm just on TikTok lying and scamming and using. But yet, all of my stuff goes out. All of my products go out. So, am I really? It is contempt. If Michael wouldn't have sent my kids back to me for my week, I could have put him in jail. Because he was stripping me of my rights that was made in the divorce, what we agreed on in mediation. We agreed on this with you on the phone. I got the whole meeting recorded. We got you saying why you were wanting the kids to keep it. We got it all. I saved it all. I do not go around anybody who's an official without my phone recording. Because it's your word against them. If they say you did something and you don't have proof, you're going to lose. So, but, you know, like down there, I was closer. Been there a month total. If she has a problem with him, she said, hey, can you come see the kids while you're gone? Or while you're not around, who we don't want you to be, them to be, what the kids want to heal from, or whatever she's trying to say. No. She thinks that she can control everything. Even though the courts, how would you feel? How would you feel? You lost all your children. Your oldest child's talking about you in ways she never has. Your other children saying, that's not true. The older children, that's not true. I don't know why she's saying that. I don't know why she's trying to make people believe you're that way. She's never been that way. You got the other 5 children under her care being told whatever. I don't know what they're being told. I don't know if they're being talked about us. I don't know if they're not being talked about. I don't know. We lost our mother-in-law. The kids lost their first grandmother. First person they ever lost. They lost their house within 3 days with all their stuff. And then they were taken 2 weeks after that. They hadn't talked to us since. Would you be hurt? Their grandpa died in November. I don't even know if they know that he died. Does that sound like a good person that took your children to keep it like normal and keep the family together, including her family together? That's the only family we have is that family. So we've lost all the family, no family gatherings, no birthdays, no talking, no seeing them, no nothing. No nothing. And they're just going to be fine. Everything stopped, but we're going to be fine. I'm raising them perfect. I've taken them to the beach, so they're perfect. I mean, what? Who does that? And it's going going to take until she's his age for her to change, because it took him this long for him to change. It's never been a problem with me. It's been a problem with her and her childhood with him. She had a great childhood, but now she sees that he didn't change from characteristics that he had then, and the other children have seen it. But in the very beginning, it was jealousy. Why are you dating her with 4 kids? You promised you'd never date again. You promised you'd never have other kids besides us. You promised it'd just be us 2. To now, taking them and just cutting them off? After 9 years? And now it makes me feel like she didn't want to be around. She didn't want to come and visit us. She didn't want to have gatherings with her siblings outside of family gatherings. She didn't want to have nights over. She didn't want any of that. She wanted to be about her and hers. But now it's hers and mine, and you're excluded, and I do everything perfect. Like I said, you're also going to hurt your daughter. Your daughter's going to say, I had you for 7 years alone. Why did you bring these kids in here permanently on top of me? I had Nana to myself. I had my step-grandpa to myself. I had my uncles to myself. I had my aunts on the other side to myself. I had my grandma to myself. I had my great-grandma on the other side to myself. She's the first granddaughter on all sides, and the first great-granddaughter. And now you brought 5 kids on top of it who need attention all the time? Yeah. Yeah. He works and we work, and he works, and I don't want to be like on top of her because the baby's mama, because I know that like she's getting used to being a mom. So yeah, we still see him. He talks to his son, but we just don't go all the time because we don't want to be, impose. And she's still little. So, if you show up and she's cranky or they had a hard night, so we try to plan those types of things, same things we would with them, because we can't just show up. Kevin works till dark. There's no way he could go. It'd be me. He works till 4 he was off this past weekend, but most weekends he works till 2:30 on the weekend. Every day on the weekend. He might be off on Sundays, but here lately he's worked Saturday and Sunday trying to make money to save quicker. But so he works all the time. So you're trying to hurt him, but you're also hurting me, and you're hurting the kids as well. Thank you. My oldest son is finding out, just like I told her they're going to find out too. And my older son's heartbroken because he thought the whole time I was just neglecting him and didn't care. And I sent him this about a month ago. I said, does this not prove to you? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. She's wanted to be. She's tried to be. She tried to be my mom, tried to be my sister's mom, tried to be my kids' mom. She didn't even raise her own kid. At all. I get that wrong. Like the first 2 years, and then she went to prison. So, they know so much. So, married to my uncle. Married to... If I showed y'all the house that was listed that they pretty much took from me, you would... Busted out windows, holes in the floor, half of it's not even remodeled. Like, she don't move around for a reason. There's a reason she doesn't move around and show you the house. The ceiling's not done. Stuff hanging from the ceiling. I've got pictures. I've got pictures of when I move out. I got pictures of how everything they lied about in court back then. Like, I've kept evidence the whole time. No, she's not related to me. She puts Castile in the bio. That way she can say, I know her because we have the same last name. She's been around me since I was 11 and a half until I was 16. They were on the road from the time I was 13 until I was 16. So I only really got a year and a half with her at she moved into my mom's house. My mom died, and Grandma moved them right in. My mom wasn't even cold yet, and they were cleaning my mom's house out. Does that seem right? That traumatized me. You mean to tell me that this is so rushed that you can't wait 3 weeks until the payment's due? You can't let me go up there and just have time in my mom's house that I was raised in for 11 and a half years she paid for? No. Mom was buried on Wednesday, Thursday. My family was made to come that weekend and clean it out. So they moved in, and she tried to be mom, tried to take over. And then 13 to 16, they were on the road, so I didn't see them. When she did come in, I was acting out, sneaking out and stuff, and she would act out then with grandma, but she wasn't there all the time. Maybe it was 14 to 16. Somewhere in that time frame, she got her license too, went on the road with a partner, and then she went on the road with him. And then, the only other time that we have been there, I don't have memories with my mom. And then from late December 16 until March of 17. That's it. That's the only times they've been around me. We don't have family gatherings because of her. Because of her. Not because of my uncle. But no, I don't have memories with my mom. That's what I say. Me and her are completely different. His family. She had only her mom and only her dad and then her brother to share attention with. I was the only child from my mom, and she was sickly. My mom was born, and at 18 months old, they pronounced her dead. They told my grandmother that Shackleford was on the way to get her, and that they were sorry. Within a few minutes, my grandma Agnes claims that an intern walked by and seen my mom's sheet moving. And they went back out and told my grandmother that her respiration rates were so low that they couldn't pick it up on the monitor. So my mom had 3/4 of her left lung removed. She had a scar across her back. 3/4 of her left lung removed when she was 18 months old. At 18 months old, they told my grandmother that she wouldn't live to be 19 and that she would never have any children. So she had me at 19. My grandma Billy let my mom and dad move in next door and settle there. So I was raised beside my grandma and grandpa. They're the only reasons I did anything. My mama never went to the store. She never did family gatherings. She never went to the schoolhouse. We didn't take pictures together. My mom had a wreck when I was in 3rd grade and the car flipped. It was the one time she got out of the house and went far. She went with my stepbrother to my stepsister's church for Easter. And I was with Grandma Billy and Grandpa Hassel. And Mom was coming around a curve, lost control, the car flipped, and she was pinned. There was gasoline leaking, she couldn't breathe, and Grandma Billy just left. She just left me at my uncle's house, not that uncle, the other uncle. And I was like, what's happening? And they wouldn't tell me. Well, Mom, it took her a while to recover. She came home on oxygen because it had messed up her body. And she went to bed. Before that, she'd have to get down on her hands and knees to wash the floor, to sweep the floor. She couldn't exhaust herself. She had tried to work doing hotels back when she was really little because she wanted to be normal, like 18, and she just couldn't. She just couldn't keep up with her counterparts. So she was able to get SSI. So my mom we never did anything. She went to her doctor's appointment and she went to get her food the first of the month when she got her check with my grandpa, my other grandpa, Grandma Agnes, Grandpa Donnieville. She went with them. Me and her didn't do anything. The memories I have are in my house solely. There's no memories of going out to eat. No memories of going to school with me. No memories of coming and eating at school with me. No memories of family gatherings. No memories of birthday parties. I didn't have birthday parties. No memories of... So for my kids to have an in-between is what I want. I don't want them to be the snooty, I know it all, I'm better than you attitude. I don't want that. No, she wasn't born healthy. She had acquired double pneumonia over and over and over again that first 18 months that had caused her to have so much damage to her lungs. I was her only child. The person that has my kids is an only child of her mother. Man, you should relate. I didn't, baby. Nope. I tried. I was 11 and a half. What could I do? My stepfather was an abusive person. He sexually assaulted my mother. He beat my mother. my dad left when I was 3. I remember everything that was on. I was wearing a purple jumpsuit, and I don't know, I think it was WWE or like one of my dad's favorite shows was playing. And my dad and mom was arguing, and my dad and mom were in the bedroom, and I was in the living room. And my dad climbed out the window and started walking across the yard, and I was at the door, and I was crying for him, wanting him to come back. And he turned that corner and never came back. And he had been seeing April number 2. April number 2 is Catherine's mom. Okay? My mom's April number 1. April number 2 is Catherine's mom. He met Catherine's mom while working on a job site. I believe that's the truth, somewhere around that. And, they got together. My mom dated a couple guys. There was 2 Davids and someone else. And she met Robert. Robert was older than her. She was like in, I think, 5th or 6th grade, and he was in high school. He was an older boy, but she always thought he was cute. I want to write a book. I just don't know how to publish it. Me and Kevin both. He wants to write From Captain to Captive, and I want to write my life story. I've been saying this since I started TikTok, that I was going to write a book, do public speaking, and I'd love to do that. But anywho, they got married, and at first, I loved Robert. He was sweet. His family accepted me. They were like Kevin's family. They were the step family, but they embraced me like I was their own. They didn't treat me differently. When I went to Christmas, like, they come and got me. Like, we never went to Christmas prior. Once my mom and Robert died, we went to Christmas, but this is what I'm trying to get to. They never treated me differently. When we had Easter, they had Easter down here. They'd come get me and get my stepbrother and whoever else when we go to church. My mom never went. My stepdad never went. But when I was about 5, they got married, and he moved in, and I remember my mom was healthy from 5 until about 8. I was 8. And then that's when she had the car wreck. So from 5 to 8, the only time that me and her would be together and get out was when she took Robert. He worked at the golf course. So she had to drive him to the golf course every morning about 3:30, 4 o'clock, because they start really early. And I remember that. I remember being in the back seat, driving across the dam, all the lights flashing, but only a couple of times. That was the only time we got out. Well, then when I was 8, she had the car wreck, and she got worse. Robert had been abusive, but she could fight back. She was feisty. She weighed probably 100 pounds, 115 pounds, 5 foot. She's feisty. Just before the wreck, right before the wreck. She'd throw a knife and just right by his head, just. When he came in, when I was 5, I was in the bed with her, and she had a stick beside her bed. And she didn't know he was there, because I guess she'd left the door unlocked by accident. And she had that stick in her hand so fast to hit him. I was like, but, because, you know, she was tiny, she's little, she's always sickly. My other aunts are bigger, they're heavy, like heavier set. My mom was the only small one of the family. So, when she got in that car wreck at 8, it kind of just put her to where she couldn't do anything. She was on oxygen. She had to have oxygen when she left the house. She had to have oxygen when she got home. Oxygen all the time. She didn't get up to clean much. She didn't take very many showers because it exhausted her. I think she gave up. But here's how she gave up. Between 8 and 11, 8 and 10, the drinking heightened. And the reason the drinking heightened is because my school teacher's husband, Daryl Worley's brother, was building a house, and they needed construction workers. And my stepdad, my mom only let me go to 3 houses. I'm not going to say the names, S, J, and the other one. And, K. So I was going to Kay's house, my teacher's house, with her daughter, the only 3 places she let me go. And it was mentioned that when they brought me home, it was mentioned that he needed workers. So they hired my stepdad to do work on their new home they were building. Well, with that, it brought, we ain't talking about that. It brought $10,000 worth of pay. And $10,000 worth of pay got what? It got whiskey. The only thing that me and my stepbrother got out of that whole amount was Christmas. The best Christmas we ever had was a Nintendo 64. He got a Nintendo 64, and we got a few extra things than we normally would. Normally, I'd get 2 or 3 things of clothing, 1 toy, a piece of jewelry. That was usually what I got. This year, we got that plus that big toy, maybe 1 extra item. It was the only time they could provide for us like that. But when my grandpa died January 17th of '03. And he was the protector for us. He would be outside working, and my stepdad would start yelling and hollering. And one time he threw a shoe across the room and it hit my mom across the face. Of course, she got loud and was yelling back at him to stop. And I'm standing in my bedroom, and my grandpa comes up, opens the door, flings it right open. Grandma Billy right behind him. And you know how Grandma Billy is, right behind him. She's churchy, a Christian. Right behind him, comes in, puts it right to his face and says, "If you do that again, I promise you, you ain't gonna make it." So that kind of calmed it down for a little bit. Well, Grandpa died unexpectedly, January 17th of '03. And Mom she went in the hospital for a month and a half. She really gave up. She'd never been in the hospital that long. She'd never been in the hospital for a month. The whole first month Grandpa was dead, she was in the hospital. So I was with Grandma. And she came home, and you could just tell that she gave up. And she told my family. She went to my family, her family, and said, Grandpa died January 17th of '03. Mom died February 17th of '04. I lost my grandpa, who was my dad, and my mother within 13 months to the day. So I lost 2/4 of my immediate family within a 13-month period. Then I lost my great-grandmother, my stepdad, my cousin, all within that 2 years. But I lost my dad wasn't around, so I lost 2/3 of my immediate family in 13 months to the day. My dad didn't show up. My dad was in Corinth, 30 minutes away. He didn't show up. He stayed with his girlfriend. My uncle that is online every day talking about me, he's actually the one who come and held me. He's actually the one that held me. I went to the bathroom screaming. He come and got me, put me back in his lap. I will say he showed up for me during that time. This was before you know who. See, she wasn't around. That was a couple years, like a year later. Because she didn't meet him till right after Grandpa died. So, and then Mom. Well, right before Mom. Maybe right when Mom died. It was right there in that time frame. I'm not quite positive. They can tell you the truth. Maybe they will. So, my dad didn't show up. And so I said, I didn't have a choice where I got to go. My dad waited 6 weeks. He came up here, went to the lawyer, signed me over. I got off the school bus, never seen him. Signed guardianship over to Grandma. So, not only was I let down by my mom and dad, Grandpa dying, my dad didn't even show up. He didn't even care that I'm half of him and felt like I lost my whole entire world. His daddy had filled in for him, but I just lost your daddy too. So that set me on the path of wanting boys' attentions. My dad isn't around. My dad don't love me. My dad don't want me. My dad don't show up and see me. So the first boyfriend who texted me, I snuck out of the house. And that's how all that happened with Riley. Grandma wouldn't let me go to football games. Grandma wouldn't let me go to gatherings at the school. Grandma wouldn't let me go to the movies. Grandma wouldn't let me do any of that. Well, my other aunt wanted me too. Her kids got pregnant at 15. You can't take a child who's lost 2/3 of their immediate family and their dad is not around and put them in a room. I know she was doing the best she could, but just like that affected me. That affected who I become. That affected my whole outcome. Just like it's affected my children now. Riley's being affected because he had this misconstrued ideal for so long that I just didn't care, and that wasn't the truth. I gave up because I didn't have the means to fight them. Same thing now. I feel like I told Riley, I failed him then by not being able to fight. And I failed him now by not having a better situation. Because if I would have had a house, Riley would have been here a month ago. Riley wanted to come home a month ago. And I had to tell him, I'm sorry, I don't have a bedroom. I'm such a horrible parent, right? So, You know, people just act like, oh, you get your credit fixed in 2 months. It don't work that way. When you've done credit, it takes a minute to ruin it. You just don't fix it overnight. You have to fix it. So, we've been working on that. Why would we want to bring our kids back and be like, here's a rental home. In 6 months, we might be evicted because they don't like us. We might be evicted because they connected with you-know-who and now they're harassing them. We don't want that. We want it to be, we have a house that we own. Only the bank can, whatever, you know? So, to be talked about online as something that I'm not, and not defend myself, is very hard. It's been very hard the last couple of years to not defend myself. Like I put, seasons aren't supposed to last forever. And blood doesn't end until death. I mean, you can say, that's my mom, I don't talk to her for these reasons, but you're really not connected away from them until they die because your name is associated with them on everything. They're your nearest loved one when you look them up. My mom's ties ended when she died. I'm not dead. And some things aren't supposed to change until then. You're supposed to want to love your mother. You're supposed to want to see your mother be better and do better. And it's like the people who are acting like they're Miss Perfect has never bought a house in their life. They had somebody co-sign for their first car. The payment was $200 a month. If my first payment was $200 a month, I think I would pay that and not have any trouble. Of course your credit's good. You've never had anything to have a major debt on it. Of course you have better income because you don't have debt. Because your mother is you're her only child and you've had it great. And the people who hasn't had it great, it's like now my children are being traumatized whether you want to believe it or not. They are being traumatized. They think that we're probably dead. I don't know what they think. Especially the two little ones. And this, and this, and this. You knew that your dad went to prison. They wouldn't tell you he went to prison because they didn't want you to hurt for 13 months while he was in prison. But yet, your Nana and your mom made sure once you knew the truth that you went and saw your dad in prison. And he was the worst of the worst then. That was when he was doing stuff that he admits that year he shouldn't have been doing. He ain't done that since 2007. This is a person who thinks that no dad should be involved. Just the mother can raise the children alone and they'll be perfect children. You don't spank your children. You don't get on to your children. You don't do any of that. That's the whole progressive. You don't need a man to be a family. You don't need a man to have a family. That's not the truth. You've been misled, Lori, just like you were misled about the no music back 2 months ago. That's not what's been said in the guidelines, lovely. No live streaming has not been said in the new guidelines. Maybe you should reread it. Sorry, you're going to be very disappointed. You should probably just stop, close, and delete TikTok if you don't want to see lives. Because, sorry, TikTok makes so much money on lives, they're never going to do away with it. They make 60 to 70% of all gifts that are sent, they get to keep. They're really going to get rid of lives? Not. TikTok shop, lives. They sell TikTok shop. Really going to get rid of it, huh? Not. Oh, okay. Well, they're not getting, I agree, but they're not. I looked the other day because I was so worried about it. They're not. A lot of the stipulations are about, like, politicians. You can't talk about politicians. You can't talk about your thoughts about politicians. But when it comes to harassing personal people, the guidelines are crazy. I played it the other day, about 4 videos the other day to the guidelines. Yeah, like, no, you can look it up. They do keep it. Like, one day I looked up, it was 60%. One day I looked it up, it was 70%. One day I looked up, it was 50%. It's between 50 and 70%. So if you send a $10 gift, Galaxy, okay, when they end that live, you would think they would have $10, right? No, they have $3 to $5. TikTok keeps 50 to 70%. When you send your subscription, let's say it's $8. They keep $4 or $5 of it. You're only getting 2 or 3. So all these streamers y'all say are making so much money, they're not, but they're pushing more for subscribers and gifts because they need to. Like, people don't realize that you are practically paying TikTok for nothing. You could directly send that gift and impact that person a lot more. Either way, you're sending them money. Either the way, they're going to use it for what they want. Why not at least get all of it to them instead of paying TikTok? Because $10 an hour is more than some people make an hour. Some people make $8 an hour and they send a Galaxy and they're just throwing it away. They're literally throwing it away. Just so that pops on the screen and looks pretty. The only time you guys see me send gifts is when I already have them in my gallery. When I've already bought. Exactly. That's why TikTok's not getting rid of TikTok. They're going to work around it any way they can because right now TikTok and Facebook is bringing in the most money. So I think Facebook's going to own it. I think Facebook's going to own TikTok. That's what I think. I think in the end it's going to be Meta that owns it. Somebody was talking about, there's 2 other apps. It's called some Starlight or something and something else, you know. I don't got anything else to say. I already told my story. Not all of it, but I mean, part about my mom. Ain't nothing else to say. I got a picture of her. I can show y'all how she looked. And y'all can see that my mom just gave up. She just gave up. She just did. And I've only got 30 pictures of my mom. That's it. The landlords claim they took my pictures to Grandma's. Grandma heard that. She heard it. I said, Grandma, where's my pictures of my important documents? She said, Ashley, they never brought me that. I've never gotten that. That's how she claims she's got it, which is illegal. It's all supposed to be disposed of. Any personal stuff is supposed to be disposed of. Oh, girl, I've been saying a lot of stuff about my kids. I'll just post it on YouTube. I'll download yesterday's and I'll download today. So that nothing I've said can be misconstrued by anybody else. Ice. Ice. No, it was left in the house. And she literally, landlords are not supposed to keep your stuff, personal stuff, for back owed rent. I have the whole entire messages that say, you're not getting this until you pay me your back owed rent. So, like I said, y'all want to keep talking all the nonsense, posting stuff on Facebook, letting everybody else see it? I'm done. You can either do what's right by everybody, or I'm fixing to say everything. Okay? She's reading old documents. I don't have documents about this court case. The kids are with them. They're not. I was evicted then. She can't have court documents of the current case because I was already evicted. I got evicted on March the 18th. Court was April the 15th or April the 13th, okay? Trustin don't have shots. Have I ever lied about that? Trustin's the healthiest of our kids. Has always been, why does she have stars across her face? Why did they buy the house I was living in and show up and say, we bought it, get out? I mean, I just read y'all, the kids' is other family, their bio families, messaged to me last year after court. And it says they've been the one calling everybody. They've been the one harassing everybody. And she even said, aren't they the same people that's been messing with you since you were 17? Yeah, they are. They owe me $5,000. I can't get grandma to go to court because she don't want to deal with them. And it was an agreement between her and him. Not me and him. Not me and her. I was 11. But she won't go to court. You know, it's just insanity. Oh, was grandma on there? She tries to stay in ghost mode. So she don't like going in there because that's all they do is talk vulgar. Call her a scammer. Tell people that her towels are outrageously priced and not worth it. Like, who calls their mother-in-law a scammer? So, I mean, who does that? Do you know why she's scamming suddenly now? Because she's not profiting off of grandma. She's not profiting off of lying to y'all about the shipping cost and the box cost and all that stuff. And now she's saying to y'all, well, she owes her $500 out of $1,500. Do you think my grandma would let me bring stuff home if I owed her? Do you think she'd get on here and say y'all were paid in full? No, she doesn't lie. That's why she won't get on the middle, because it don't do no good. She ain't gonna lie for either of us. So, and they don't like that. They want her to get online and lie and make me look bad. Or vice versa. Grandma knows what I'm saying is the truth, but she don't want to be in the middle of it because how they treat her. Girl, listen, if you're in their pages, if you're commenting on their videos that are lies against me, I'm going to know. Now, I don't watch it, but I'm going to know. Somebody's going to tell me. Somebody's going to send me. All the people that send y'all the stuff about me, they send it to me too. So, I don't care who you're friends with. I don't care who you listen to. But as soon as you start commenting negative things, agreeing with them that are not the truth, I don't want you around, because you are part of that. But I don't control who you're friends with. I don't control who you talk to. Even the people that don't always agree with me, but we still get along, I don't tell them who to be friends with. Like, you can follow whoever you want, but just don't contribute to my hate, what I always say. If you contribute to my hate, then I don't want you around, because you're an enemy. But if you're just in there and just making comments, I don't care. I don't care who you're friends with. I don't care if you're friends with her, if you're friends with Gabby, if you're friends with Stephanie. I don't care. I don't have a problem with nobody. I don't really have a problem with the person who tries to destroy my life. I'll tell you the good stuff she's done. I told you how she was when she met me. I told you I rode a horse for the first time because of her. My first cell phone was because of her. Like, I could say the truth. I could say the truth about somebody, not to drag them through the mud to make it be my narrative. She shows y'all enough her crazy. I ain't got to say nothing about it. So, let me tell y'all some good stuff about her like I did yesterday. Well, I'm not going to say it now, but I'm just saying. Let me tell you some good stuff, since she don't show you good stuff. She just shows you crazy. So. But, like, do you ever see her get on here and doing that? No. And how was I a better... I just want to clarify this. How was I a better parent when I was away from Kevin, supposedly, from you, but yet you told Kevin that you wished that you would have got married with a pretty ring and not in Las Vegas? You opened the door, because our bedroom didn't have a door to it, and you had a towel on, trying to be all pretty. You come in the house while we were asleep and you stood over us. Who does that? That's crazy people. That's crazy people. But how was I better before Kevin when I worked at a $7.50 an hour job supporting 4 children who were 4, 5, 3, 2, and 1, and a grown man that didn't watch his children, a grown man who didn't clean, a grown man who didn't grocery shop, a grown man who didn't take them to the doctor, a grown man who didn't do nothing. I had to take 2 kids to Grandma Billy's and 2 kids to Grandma Agnes's every evening and pick them up every morning between 12:30 and 4 in the morning. So me never being there for my children and working nights is better for them than being home with them 24/7 and having a full-time provider that comes home and helps and establishes a family and a routine and prayer and fasts. And that should show y'all how she was raised and how she thinks. Like, what? I ain't talking about people's got the kids. I'm talking about the one who gets online every night talking about me. Not about the person who has the kids. I ain't talking about that person. I'm talking about the one who gets online every night talking. Her. You know, so I guess you don't know what's best for children because you didn't raise your own. You were in prison, then you were wild on the streets, huh? Well, I'm not wild on the streets. And I ain't been to prison. And I'm not in rehab constantly. And I'm not in jail every couple months. So I would think that having a man, she's always watching, having a man that comes home and sets boundaries and sets security and sets safety and sets a family environment is a lot better than being a single mother raising a grown man and 4 children and working nights. My children were in school. Riley went to school the whole time that I was home. I didn't see him. So, it's like her saying, his stepmom saying I failed him. Okay, you go to work, boo-boo, and you work nights, and then you see how good you are with your children during the day, and you got 3 others. She worked at first, then they had their child, and she stopped working. All these people that make so much judgment about me has never lived a day in my life, ever. They've never lived a day in my life. Who's grow up? Who? Baby, I think you need to grow up. What are you even talking about? Who are you talking to? Who? They have to while they're in state care. They have to while they're in state care. They can't be homeschooled in state care. That's one of the reasons why our church friends didn't really want to get them, because she was homeschooling her kids and she didn't know how that would work out with Neelan. Because she was going to try to get Neelan and my other friend was going to try to get the older 3. And it's crazy because my friend literally said, not the church friend, my other friend, do you think they're going to try to take the kids permanently and keep them from you? And I said, no, we chose her because we're going to stay normal, have Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthdays. She was right. She was right. I should have pushed for her to get my children and the church friend. At least the church friend would have been more, you know. Okay, Miss Rosie, since you don't know statistics and factual evidence, look up the factual statistics about a son raised solely by a mother and how many of those men end up in prison or in jail or on rugs. Look it up. The progressive works so well. My oldest son's acting out. You know why? Because he didn't have his mother. It goes both ways. Okay? A daughter doesn't grow up without a father and know what to look for. The father is the one who sets it for her. Shows her the love for the first time from the opposite sex. Same with a boy, with his mother. The first 7 years set them on their paths of who their character is going to be, how they're going to behave, a lot of stuff, a lot of different stuff. Okay? So, I don't understand what y'all are thinking about that. But parents who raise their children with 2 parents in the home statistically have better outcomes. Look up statistics and stop worrying about it, okay? True, but you cannot just cut people off. are you even talking about? Like, some of the comments that are being made doesn't make any sense. Like, no wonder y'all follow the crazies, because it doesn't make any sense. I don't got any music on. I don't have any music on. I just don't know what to make. I didn't like the one yesterday. Nothing. I can't get him to eat stuff like that. I like stuff like that, but he don't. He don't eat. I don't know. I'll text him in a minute and ask. We just don't eat a lot. We really don't. We waste it. So. Nah. The drink, I don't. Oh, it was just a mixture of all the fruit flavors, and I didn't like it. Thank you. I just find it funny that the ones who don't have children, stepbrother, the landlord, she don't have her own child, never gave birth, ever. She ain't a positive influence to that child. When I post the videos that prove how she talked in front of that child, in front of my children's, the reason I called the cops on her, it'll show. Okay, the other one who's on here didn't raise her 3 children, but have so much to say. Lost them supposedly because she was in an abusive relationship. Okay, this one who talks about me every day don't have her child either, never raised her. So all the people y'all are listening to and that have so much factual evidence are trying to make up for not being a good parent themselves. So now they want to control everybody else's lives and their parentinghood. They want to voice their opinions on everybody else's and act like they're perfect. Instead of coming to them and saying, hey, I made some choices and I wouldn't. Or, hey, I think you're going to do something wrong and lose your children. Or, hey, you know? Especially if you call yourself family. I expect it from haters, but family? Yeah. I messaged Gabby. She finally messaged me back. I sent her my number, told her I like to talk privately. I ain't heard nothing. So, told her I didn't want to be on. I didn't want anybody, it want to be personal between me and her. Because I know if she's on live, she's going to be contemplating her next response. She's going to be looking at the comments, and her brain's going to be constantly going. And I don't want that. I don't want the public to be involved. I don't really care, but I don't care about her. I want her to hear from me myself. Here's your warning, and if you don't stop and change the narrative and change things, you are going to be in problems that you have. They're going to be magnified so much. So, I don't want to talk to her on a personal level. I don't want to talk about all the stuff y'all claim she's done. I don't give a shit. I'm being honest. I don't cuss. I don't give a crap. Don't care one bit. I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to help so that you don't make the same mistakes I did. And that's what I said. And that's it. I'll read what I said because there's nothing bad. I actually hope that she responds back to me eventually. So sorry, I must have missed this. Feel the need to reach out to me. I feel the need to reach out to her. I said, message me anytime. I love to talk to you personally, even on FaceTime, so you know it's me. Nothing bad. I know nothing about you. I want to explain what's happened to me and how, the mistakes I made and what I've learned, that I see you could work on. I don't know any specifics, just know some things I changed that changed the narrative. Much love and God bless. I know if we're on live, we'll both be thinking of our next response in the comments and impatient to respond. I want you and I alone, so it can be real and genuine. You'll never hear what we say online, just want the chance to affect someone before it's too late for them. That's the only way I've been to her and Stephanie. I don't care about... I don't care about knowing about all their stuff and all that stuff. I just want them to hear somebody else's opinion for once. And the less, because she's making the same mistakes. Like the same mistakes. So. Oh, me. Who? Oh, me. No. Okay. Okay, let's go on that. Let's go on that. Since you're bringing up things from 2021, okay? Let's talk about this. Got it recorded also. Got everything recorded. Got all the text messages. Got the case being closed and all, okay? If that was an issue, don't you think that Kevin would have been removed from the home, or that would have been removed from the home in 2021? Yeah. No, it wasn't. It was approved to stay because I had it legally kept the way it's supposed to be. Just because someone else is a felon in Tennessee does not mean that your rights are stripped. You have to keep it legally locked away in the way it should be. Well, when I was out and about that day, Kevin wasn't with me. So, why are y'all bringing back old stuff that's been dropped? I mean, it literally was an open and closed case. It's just, do y'all see that y'all can't run with your narrative always because I'm starting to tell the truth? And so now, let's go back 4.5 years ago and let's talk about that. That was a closed case. Nothing happened. Okay? Bull. Was Kirsten there? No. She wasn't. So, at all. I don't even know, guys. They sometimes block the wrong people by accident. You don't want to know, Christine. You ain't sorry yet? You don't want to know, lovely. You really don't want to know. You don't want to know. She is just somebody who's been going live all day, every day, and showing everything. The crazy, all of it. She shows when she takes her medication. She shows when she talks to her child. She shows when she talks to her husband. She shows when her husband's online talking to other people about their drama, drama about them. There's just so much. So, that she does. But what I've learned is you cannot put your family on live all day, every day, and expect a good outcome. That does not happen, especially when it pertains to your relationship and your children. Keep your children offline, and then make it about you and him. Don't show the crazy, okay? Don't show the crazy at all. So, she does. She shows when him and her are into it. She shows her eyes being this size to her eyes being this size at 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock. Now that could be her medicine, but it doesn't help in her narrative of she shouldn't have her child, she's crazy, she's neglectful, whatever. It doesn't help. People judge me just because I got my top teeth removed. I got a dentist removed all these. A professional dentist of 40-something years removed all this. I don't get into all that, okay? I ain't like that. Okay, it's been me that's been dealing with this stuff too. So I don't judge her on what y'all say, okay? Unless I'm there living it with them, I don't judge you. I do not claim that I know what I don't know. I don't do that, okay? So I was looking for your name and just completely got sidetracked. That's what I was doing. Sorry. So, I don't want to get into all that specifics. I don't care. I don't want her to think that I'm one of the people that have been watching her every single move, and I think I did that. But anywho, so I don't do that. I just want to tell her, look, I've got all these videos of DCS. I've got all these messages from DCS. I've got all the reports from DCS from TikTok. I want her to hear, you're not ever going to be able to work, okay? You're never going to be able to work because you get online and you say, like today, I was on there a little bit earlier before I jumped on. And someone in the comments said, don't forget your appointment at 3:30. They shouldn't know about your appointment, Gabby. They should know about your appointment after the fact, not before it. So, I think I did, okay, by accident. I did unblock you, though. I didn't see you on the muted list, so I think that's what you said. Right? Yeah, I did. I don't know why I blocked you. Must have been an accident, sorry. So, you know, just those type things. Your husband walks in the room and he is coming over there to say, this person's online talking about you. This person's been on there 3 hours. Mute it. Now what do you got to say? And they don't hear nothing. Your child crying. Mute it. You know, my AirPods don't work. My AirPods don't work like this. They don't have a recording in them. They do, they're supposed to, but they don't. So I don't have earpods that do that. If I wear my earpods, y'all can't hear me talk. So like whenever we would be leaving, I'd be like, oh, we got our stuff ready, we're leaving, we're going to the store. They should have never knew that. I should have did a come with me today video and then posted it that evening that said, this is what we did today. Not, they know you're going to be on the streets. They can follow you. They can mess with you. They can put where you're at. They can dox your car. Stop. Stop doing that. Amy, what were you even saying? Oh, but the book. I want to write a book, but you know. Okay. Just like, they'll text me and they'll say, what the hell? What the hell is it you ain't responded to me for forever? Now that I'm online telling my truth, you texting me? Come on now. You know? And it's only okay when their narrative is going the way they want it. It's only okay when I keep my mouth shut. It's only okay, out of sight, out of mind, when I ain't telling the truth. And proving it. Like I said, some true colors about to show. I'm done. You got the nice Ashley, the Ashley that cares about people, the Ashley that apologizes, the Ashley that sees her wrongs. But I'm just done, you know? I don't agree with her, but I don't go on there and just out my opinion either. It's none of my business if you know what she's really doing. But unless you live what I went through, we went through, you don't have that perspective. So I just want her to hear me out. That's it. I just want her to hear me out. She don't gotta say anything. I don't care if she says a word. I'm being honest. Because I don't know nothing about her. I really don't know anything about her. So it ain't like I'm just saying that. I don't know anything about her. And I don't want to know anything about her, if I'm being honest. Like, I just try to keep it separate. Like, because she'll be hated on for me, and I'll be hated on for her, and I just don't care. Like, I don't know her personally. I will never see her face. So, but listen, this is what's different, okay? Who cares about big creators? A lot of big creators haven't lost their kids for being on live all day. A lot of creators haven't lost their kids for not knowing their rights. A lot of creators haven't been drugged through the mud like me and her have. I have the experience. I just want her to listen. Whether she listens to me or not, does it, I don't care. But at least I can say I reached out for Gabby and I reached out for Stephanie. And if they don't listen to me and it all happens, I warned you. I tried talking to you. I tried preparing you that what they're going to do and what they're trying to do. I tried. But if I don't try, my conscience is going to feel bad. That they're not married to their partners. They could go on a vacation across state lines and get arrested, and there goes their kids. They could, you know, it's not that I want to know her. I don't want to know her. I want her to hear me out. That's why I made the video about Stephanie, and I posted it, and I tried to get her to message me then, because I was seeing that Drew was supposed to have a warrant, possibly. She may have a warrant for the animals, child support, I mean, all that. So, did she ever talk to me? No. So, but, you know, whatever. No harm, no foul to me. I was just trying to be helpful. If it helps at all. It may not help at all, you know. So, honey, you don't beat a 9.5-month case if you don't have a safety plan, babe. Okay? You can't beat a 9-month case, 9.5-month case without going to the safety plan. Earlier, when I was in there telling y'all, court date, hearing with child support, that was a safety plan. So, the safety plan this year, when the kids were in foster care, got it recorded. Got it all recorded. She needs to do that. She needs to start recording every single incident she has. Any of them that could cause her problems or make an issue of anything, she needs to record it. Oh, what do you mean? She has one, but she asked for it. What? What? I don't have, y'all asked me the wrong question. I really don't know. Guys, a safety plan is like, just like what the stipulations are. Like, we're going to keep the kids off social media. We're not going to show them as much. Just stuff like that. Really, our safety plan didn't really include anything. This year, they claimed that I wouldn't do the safety plan, but yet they never facilitated to help me. We were all the way across state lines, and they wanted me to come back to my hometown in a 4-seater car with 7 kids, but never said, hey, I'll transport some of them, you can transport some of them. No. But we do have a safety plan because it happened after court. So, it happened in the thing. What? I don't know it, baby. I don't know what her safety plan says, okay? So, don't take what I'm saying as that's what hers is, okay? It's not. It's just by family. You don't know what your safety plan is going to be. It's by family. It's by what they think those needs are for that family, okay? What needs to progress for that family. It's not going to be the same safety plan for every single family, you know? So, she shared out 11 people. Shared what out? Are we talking about Gabby? Are we talking about Gabby? Is that what we're talking about? Is that what we're talking about? Oh, man. It makes me laugh because it's just like, what? For real? Well, I ain't sure I can get across to her then. Like, baby, you don't record everything live. You don't record everything live for them to know every little detail, and you don't share everything. I've already tried, baby. If she don't respond, it's on her. And it may never happen to her. She may never go through the things I've been through. It may just be them harassing her. It may never happen, you know? But I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. I never did that. I don't know. I don't know about all that stuff. Y'all, somebody said that, but I just didn't look into it because, you know, I just don't get in everybody else's drama. I don't. The only reason I knew about Stephanie because on my For You page every single day. I mean, every single day. So that's the only reason why I knew about Stephanie's stuff. I didn't know nothing. I just heard little snips and pieces of Gabby's during her lives. People always share them. So. Oh, us too, girl. Nothing sounds good. Oh, she's still on there. Oh, well, thank you.
Have you seen this?
Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to do that. Alright, is she still on live? No, she got off. agree. It's just, nothing sounds good anymore, you know? She ain't. Here she is.
I started by making that chimichurri paste to the best of my abilities with what I had at hand, and also I had my man go to the store for me because I have really bad social anxiety when it comes to the store, but that's beside the point. So I'll list the fresh herbs that I used above to make the paste, as well as the things that I forgot to put in the paste. I did forget to use red wine vinegar, which I'm kind of upset about because I really feel like that would have added an element, just a little more intensity to the flavor, if you will. So also what I did was, since I was going to pan sear these and I really wanted to use drumsticks, I went ahead and butterfly cut them, or however you said that. I will say I missed an opportunity here because I should have put slits on the meatier side, and that probably would have added even more flavor to this when I was cooking them and searing them. But that's okay, they still got cooked thoroughly. So did I do perfect my first time making chimichurri chicken?
You had Cheetos?
But it still turned out delicious.
Oh, she's still on here.
People asking me just why I'm not out of the house more, why it's always Drew who goes and does things. And let me just give you a little snippet of I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for
I'm gonna clean up this mess.
I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for the energy I'm bringing through this video because it's 3 a.m. I'm fucking tired. I'm doing the voiceover. And I just woke up with the urge to urinate like none other, and what's probably more...
You just cracked me up. It's like... Oh, Stephanie. The rumors of you being pregnant is because you said they had to get up for 3 in the morning and pee. I've been gone. Oh, me. Oh, you do, girl, you do. I just ain't called them by their name. Like what they're known as on TikTok. They're not known as Stephanie on TikTok.
If your baby gets up,
What? Like, who's done anything? I didn't even drink anything. What are we talking about? Just so y'all know, consuming substances featured in this live could harm your health. What are we consuming? What are we doing? Maybe it's because Stephanie said she had to go to the bathroom and pee. Maybe that's what it was for. From the video I just posted of her. Or just played of her. I didn't even drink my drink. It's over here. What? I'm drinking off the camera. Just don't want y'all to see me drink. I don't know. I don't have a clue. Look, there's nothing over here. What are we even talking about? I don't know, girl. I don't know. I guess they're mass reporting, trying to get me in trouble. I guess. I really hope Gary hasn't died. A couple that I watch on here. I told Kevin it would be 2 weeks. I said it might be a month, but it's close. And I think I'm right. I think that he's fixing to go. What do you congratulate me on? What are we congratulating on? You heard what? What'd you hear? We're all confused. The whole chat's confused. What? Include us in to what you're congratulating me for, because we don't have a clue. At all. Have y'all not been watching The Perfect Brow? Girl, it's been in there. What? I mean, none of us know what you're talking about. None of us. You've had 3 people comment, fill us in, what are you talking about? And none of us have seen it. So, it must be filtered. Have you not been watching The Perfect Brow? Makes me want to cry. I commented that as a single child of my mother, as a little girl especially, I wish I would have had a Care Bear made with her voice in it and like a little patch on the front with her shirt that I could spray her perfume on and smell her. So I'd have something to hold, something to hear, something to smell. And you wouldn't just forget over time. But she's lucky she's got videos. I didn't have videos because my mom, it was early 2000s, so I didn't have videos. But I feel bad for them. It's just like Haley that was on here. Haley and her husband. It's just like that. He's passing away from cancer. And I'm just really falling to really like him a lot. Well, if you loved Haley, watch this couple. They're just as good. The Perfect Brow. This is The Perfect Brow.
Hi, Emily. This is your dad. Sorry I'm not there to be with you on your special day. Know that I'm proud of you and I'm happy that you've grown up to be who you are. I wish I could.
This one broke my heart because I wish my mom would have told me. Like, I'm not going to be here. Not just, you're going to the hospital. Love you, Mom. See you in a minute. Oh, she's dead 30 minutes later. You know? So, I really admire them for having those talks. I knew with this one that he wouldn't have probably a month.
All this time to try to get all this time and pay.
This one. This one hurt
really
me.
Tough on your dad. But no, I would never think for an instant.
No. Here's what
Love
she's
this
put.
comment.
I'll play that one again, but here's what she put. She put yesterday. She put August 16th, 2025 evening. Gary is resting a lot. My mom is a nurse and has come to spend the night with us. We're soaking in every minute. Today, she posted. Someone said, praying that this is not the last update of our bestie. And she put, I am just too sad, and I'm sorry. I know we have brought you all along for the journey with us, but I have nothing left. I'm losing the love of my life, and although I knew he was dying, I never thought he was really going to die. Gary is still resting in a hospital bed. Gary is still resting. A hospital bed comes tomorrow. I'm spending every moment with him, skin to skin, playing his favorite music and telling him how wonderful he is and loved he is. All we can do at this point is pray for his comfort and peace. I love this man so much. I am just surviving at this point. He asked I be bedside with him when the time comes, and I will fulfill that promise. Thank you to everyone who's prayed and wishes well wishes. I will update if the situation changes August the 19th morning. So, yeah, expecting a good year. Expecting a great year. Things are changing for us, so expecting a good year. Thanks for congratulating me on expecting a great year. So wonderful. Like, do you believe everything that you hear? Are you naive and gullible? Are you easily persuaded? Do you believe things without facts? Because I don't. I don't judge people without facts. Okay? No, supposedly I consumed them. I drank my drink. Off camera, like this. And I guess that's supposedly... I don't know, I guess that's supposedly a vape or something, I don't know. Anywho. And it's sad because they had to buy their own oxygen. Where'd you get that at? Where'd you get Gary's been doing better today? Because the last post that I got is saying that he's in a hospital bed. I just read it to y'all. That's the last post on my page, her page. Oh, okay, good. I just don't want people to be misled, okay? I don't want people to think that you're somebody who's coming on and saying this and it's factual if it's not. Do you see why I'm weary? So, I'm glad to hear that if he is. I really am. Because I really was worried this was going to be the last post. Just by what she wrote. They are. I love them so much. Even though I don't know them, I do love them from a distance. I do. I enjoy their content. I watch their content every time it pops on my For You page. I think that when she looks back later on, she'll be very happy that she did. She'll be very happy that she put it out there for the world to see and for her to have versus not having stuff. Just every moment being, you know, with him and no documents, no memories. So I think she's doing very well to document that for her children, because I didn't have that. I don't have a single recording of my mom talking. Not one. I can't remember her voice at all. So, I don't know them. They're just on TikTok. Remember Haley that died with cancer and shared her story? Well, it's called The Perfect Brow. The Perfect Brow. And she's been sharing her husband's journey. And they have 2 daughters, and I remember how it was being his oldest daughter's age. And my mom dying. I was so confused. She's gotten to see it, maybe get used to it, but it's still going to break her heart. So, And I hate that for them because you can't do anything to change that, you know? So, yep, same thing with Kevin's mom. Kevin's mom was eating chicken tenders the day before and talking to her nieces and her cousins and her family, and we didn't make it there because Kevin thought she was better. Well, they called us the next morning and said her eyes are fixated, she's not responding but mumbling, you need to get here. So, but he's fought so hard, he really has. I mean, somebody who can't breathe, they should have had approval for oxygen immediately. Why was people online or them having to pay for an oxygen machine? It's just not fair. It's not right. It's not fair. I know.
Literally feel.
A couple weeks ago, and he asked me. He said,
It is. I couldn't believe it. Like, what? They're a good couple. If you want to watch a couple who's been married for a very long time, I think like 12, 16 years, something like that. They've been married for a while. And just, I don't remember when I found her. I just found her during this journey. I didn't find her before this journey. So, but she's done exceptional on making sure that she has made memories. Like, I'll remember you forever.
Hey, baby. I love you.
I love you.
You gonna remember me?
I'll remember you forever.
Hey, baby.
She has. She has.
Hey, it's Gary. Just here checking in with everybody. I took my family to an Airbnb.
This one. Our youngest was afraid of her daddy's oxygen. She thought he looked unfamiliar. She asked for a brush to fix his hair. This way of self-soothing took her fear of the new oxygen machine away.
So, this is.
This one. Oh.
It's really tough on your dad. But no, I would never think for an instant I'm doing it, or I would, no, it's more, I want to have my own free will, you know? And I wouldn't do it like, oh.
That's one reason why I don't, oh bye lovely, that's one reason I don't want to be a nurse, because of all the policy and procedures. Well, thank you. Policy and procedures and insurance companies, like, you can morally know something's wrong and that this is going to save this child's life, but insurance says no, we're not covering it, and the family can't cover it. I don't want to be a nurse stuck in that predicament. I don't want to be a judge because, I mean, not a judge, a cop, because, you know, I'm an emotional person. So I don't think I would be able to just leave it at the door. Just not bring it home, you know. I don't think that would be possible for me. So, that's the route that I'm not going to go because of that. Teacher, I want to be a teacher, but you can't afford a teacher pay. You cannot support children like I have on a teacher pay. It's impossible. So, that's the reason I haven't went to those two places, but mainly because policy and procedures at the hospitals and the doctor's office and stuff, and, you know, I want to help people, not hurt them, and if you don't have any control in that, then, you know, I can't imagine telling someone that they've got cancer and there's no hope. Like, I just can't imagine that, like, having to do that, you know, so, I was talking about the perfect brow. The perfect brow. They're a couple, and her husband is going through cancer, and he's got stage 4, and she's been sharing the journey and sharing them go to like other counties and states to make memories. She's been sharing it all, and they're going to really need the support and the rallying when it happens. When it truly happens, she's going to be lost and devastated. So she's going to need a lot of us to rally around her. Yes, the perfect brow. Like brow. She used to do tattooing. And I think right, like brow tattoos, eyeliner tattoos, I'm not sure. But it's the perfect brow. So, or her name is this. I'll turn it around for you so you can do it. Because you might have to look her up by this. Kayla Faber 7. But this is what their main name is. But Kayla Faber 7. Yeah. I just popped up on my page. So, you know, just then while I was talking to y'all. But I watch them. And I thought a lot of people had already seen him. So, I feel like he's the next Haley. Like, I haven't seen really anybody else who has cancer besides, oh, I can see him in my face. I can hear his mama's voice. I can hear his wife. Tanner's the only other one that I've seen that's really shared his story besides like younger kids, you know, their family. But like adults sharing everything so they have memories. Tanner sticks out, Haley sticks out, and then Kayla sticks out. Like, they're the ones I've watched the most, you know, like, dealing with cancer and having problems. So, they're really, 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 like, I think good people and good content creators. And they're just trying to do their best to have an actor. Because he was the provider. She provided too, but you got to go from 2 providers or just one sole provider with a little bit of income, you know, business income, to no income, to he can't work and she's his caregiver. That is life-changing. Not just in death, it's life-changing for the moment. I can't imagine how much stress. When Kevin was in jail and facing those charges that weren't true and we had to fight against them, I was so stressed out because he's the one with the work history. He's the one with the main income. He's, you know, can't imagine what she's going through not having a job or having, you know, being able to work steady and 2 babies and her husband sick. That's a lot on anybody. I don't know how she still keeps herself together and comes on every day and makes posts and does all she does for him. She is a Wonder Woman. She's done the best she can, and that shows. It really shows. At least for me. Thank you for that. I don't know, baby. I haven't listened to all of that. I only watch the videos that pop up. I never really see her pop up on lives or anything. So I just see what she puts. I'm not certain. Maybe my friend in the comments will know. And if they don't, we can... Do they have life insurance? If we don't have life insurance, is that what the GoFundMe's for? Because if it is, we need to promote that. If they don't have life insurance, we need to promote it. I know. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people are hiding their story because they don't, but you could influence somebody more than you know. Okay? You could. You could influence somebody, and you could make an impression on somebody more than you know. So, you know, nobody can take that from you.